Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Let's see. Fresh Breaks, live card shop. All right. Just trying to come up with the title there. Wait, save. All right, let's go ahead and ping. Here we are. We're going live for Monday morning. All right, there we go. And we'll ping over here as well. Boop. All right, very nice. I received Ethereum. When was this? Oh, that says June. Okay, never mind. That was a little back early. Okay, that's good. So I got a little PSA thing to fix. Apparently, some of the slabs I sent to the vault showed up cracked. Oops. Okay, looks like Victor Cardenas might have bought something. And then what is this? Let's see, Google. You might have noticed there was no Saturday stream. Yeah, I was in St. Louis. Now let's see, NHWC, take a picture of that last box of Yuzu hard, and it'll be my first picture on my private Discord. I'll just keep it sealed for memories. Oh, I think he's trying to take a picture of a booster box, the last booster box. All right, let me go grab it. Bear back, Yuzu hard. We got the DK rap playing. DK, donkey. Hey, did you guys check this out? The first hand-drawn Charizard. All right, that belongs to Sarah Dusenberry. Do you like it? Let's turn on the iPad. Let's plug it in. Give a minute here. All right. Excuse me. All right, let's see. We're going to jump over here. Let's see. Let me hit refresh. Try to open up the chat room here, the live chat. All right, let's see. There it is. Haha. Let's hit pause on this. Okay, and we'll hit pop out chat. There it goes. We got Jack Woodworth, Aovic, Shahir, Whipple, Jack Woodworth again, Rigger Rockstar. We've got Javier Arroyo, Dom Stex, Bainabs. Hey, what's up, guys? Mike said did a really good job with the editing on the Pikachu clip. Nice. Alex says, woo, I'm awake because I'm working 17 hours. Are you really? Here's Aovic, 1 of 1 Mahi Sard goes crazy. Yeah, you know, if you recall, Miss Sarah got the card for only like 25 bucks. We did a little auction, and it sold for like 25 bucks. But of course, I didn't really give everyone any time or awareness that we were auctioning it off. We never do auctions. That's a hand-drawn TCC Charizard. It says Rockstar Mahi Redeem It. 2025 TCC's Draw Iggs First Edition. Now, like I said, attack number 1 is Please Bro. It does 120. And attack number 2 is Redeem It. It does 400 damage. It's got a little signature over here. 1 of 1 SAR Double Star First Edition. And that's for Sarah Dusenberry. I don't even know where she is. Night stream, right, mister? We'll start my digital collection. Yes, sir. I saw your message, so I said, okay, we'll do it for the nighttime. Sarah Dusen. I've been kind of busy the daytime stream. We were talking on the Discord server. We were talking about the halftime show, the controversial halftime show a bunch last night and this morning. But also, I was just doing a lot of stuff, man. Like, I was working with the real estate lady. We're getting ready to sell that house that we used to rent to John a long time ago. It's been a long time since then, you know. Time really flies. Take a look at that. Redeem it. Sarah Dusenberry really did buy this card for just 25 bucks. She got a very good deal. Now, there's two other drawings that will come up for sale, and they're not going to be quite as cheap. Quip's Espeon and Quip's Haunter. Look at that. We fired up the encapsulation machine again because I needed to get that Sarah Dusenberry card encapsulated. But also, Karis had some drawings she wanted to finish encapsulating, like this really nice Quip's Haunter. Look at that. Isn't that cute? The little bonnet and Mimikyu puppets. And then this cute little hand-drawn Espeon. Now, traditionally, we've always sold her cards for $100. She doesn't sell them, I sell them. She just draws them. We've done a new thing. We've put them up on the website. So you can actually go to the website and open up the website's menu and head to something called the gallery, where you'll see a picture of these cards, and that gallery is going to stay up there. So you're always going to be able to see what these cards once upon a time looked like, even after they sold. So after they sell, they still stay up there. You can see them again. So that's a fun thing. And the price is going to be a little bit higher than usual, and I'll tell you why. It's because these are her only hand drawings left now. We had a whole bunch of them in the past, and they all sold. There's none left. These are the last two. This one's brand new. This one just needed to be encapsulated. But the price is going to be slightly higher. Pokemon cards are a little bit crazy now. I don't know how many of these she's drawn. Feels like a decent chunk of them. But she has none left, and I'm just going to keep them a little bit higher for now. You can get them off the website too, by the way. They're actually purchasable off of the website. I don't know if they'll sell at this price, but here's the fun part. If they don't sell, I'll just lower the price. So it's not complex. We're just testing the waters, really. And it's not, I shouldn't say we, it's just me. So I'm just testing the waters. She doesn't sell them, I sell them. All right, there we go. Very nice. Look at that. So Rocket Pack hasn't moved in 2 days because no stream. I'm sorry. Yes, the Rocket Pack has like 2 spots left on it. Did my music stop? Oh, let me hit play on that. We'll just turn that down now. All right, so the Rocket Pack. Yes, I took Saturday off, you'll notice. Normally there's one stream on Saturday, and I took Saturday off. I went to a Pokemon convention in St. Louis, which was like a 3-hour drive, dude. It feels like a lot of driving. 3 hours, it's not the longest, but you know, it's at that point where you're like, dang, this is a long drive. So we drove 3 hours out of Camdenton, Lake of the Ozarks, and into St. Louis to the convention. And that's where we waited for about 2 full hours to get into PokeCon. St. Louis PokeCon. It was a Pokemon card convention. Took like 2 hours to get in. I posted a video of it on our channel showing just how crowded it is. If you haven't seen that video, you got to go watch that. I'll probably make a video on these guys too. I haven't made a video on these yet. But it was just so crowded. I just couldn't believe how crowded it was. I'd never, like, let me put it this way. I've never been in a room that crowded before. That is the first time I've been in a room where it felt like I was getting crushed. So I've never been crushed before. I've been in busy rooms. I've never been crushed before. Like, you were breathing each other's air. You could like smell people's breath, and you could feel like kids hitting your legs as they tried to squeeze through, but they could barely move. You better not be in a wheelchair or anything else like that. It was like, it was actually freaking Karis out. Like, she was getting nervous. She had like claustrophobia because it was obvious we had no way to go forward or backward at some point. Like, you actually could not move. It was impossible. You actually could only move with the crowd at some point. There was no way to, like, I took a little video, but I didn't show it all. It was so horrible. So it was a 2-hour line to get in, $50 for tickets, two hours to get in. And the line just kept going and going. You couldn't see the whole line because the line goes into different rooms in the building. So you keep entering a new room thinking you're almost done, and you're not. You go through this zigzag line, like this huge zigzag line, just to make it into another room. And you're like, okay, we're finally there, just to see another line. It was that bad. I'd never seen anything that bad. But I stood through the whole thing because, you know, sunk cost fallacy. You know, we'd already waited an hour, and I'm like, I just keep going. When we get in there, it's like the Kansas City Collecticon, but a bit smaller, maybe about half the size, but with just as many people, or possibly more. I mean, St. Louis has a bigger population than Kansas City. So it was like the Kansas City Collecticon if it had about half as much room, maybe. And it was just insane. I just couldn't believe it. No one could shop, by the way. Everyone was looking at each other with like a look in their eyes, like, what are we doing here? So that was really interesting. Karis has applied for our money back. She says we didn't get to shop. They oversold tickets. That's what she said. So she has actually just applied to get her money back. She didn't like it, by the way. I found it hilarious. I had a good time, but she's probably right. I didn't get $50 worth of an experience out. I guess for me, seeing all that sort of made me feel like, hey, Pokemon cards, pretty hot. Let's see what you guys are saying now. I got a card show coming up on the 20th, $40 per spot. That's right, $40 per spot. Did you get anxious? No, I don't get claustrophobia or anything like that. But I did feel like I could catch a flu or even give someone the flu because I had the flu a couple weeks ago. So, you know, I was there thinking this is like a super contagious event. I mean, dang, like you could smell every person. And sometimes they smell good and sometimes they smell bad, but you smell them because you were that cramped. And you breathe out, and you swear when you're breathing in someone else's, you know, air. It's really gross. So I was like, this is terrible. If there had been like a stampede, like if there had been a problem and everyone was squeezing to get out, it could have been dangerous. If a fire started, it would have been a massive, serious problem if a fire started, because you usually just burned up. There's no way you would have gotten out in time. No way. So they were just lucky there was no fire. But it was just really crazy. I was shocked. Let's see. Were you there when someone tried to steal that $30,000 booster box? You're saying someone tried to steal a booster box worth $30K at PokeCon St. Louis? Because I was there, but I didn't hear about that. Did it stink? Sometimes. Sometimes you went in there, and here's the truth. Some people had good etiquette and they had good hygiene, and some people were really stinky. It just depended. Like you're just random draw. But yeah, even when we arrived at the building, there was this huge line outside the building. And I saw a food truck and I said, oh, that's just people lining up for food. No, you had to wait out in the cold for I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes just to get in the building. It was crazy. It was just really crazy. So there you go. You should have fainted to get a discount. Yeah, I mean, if I was all by myself, I might have tried to cut the line or something like that because, you know, you can be a little more nefarious when you're by yourself. But I was with Karis, so I didn't want to be, you know, a bad person. But yeah, it was just, they had two people letting people into the convention. It was one guy scanning tickets, and he was doing it real slow. And like a lady who I think their job was to make sure they didn't let too many people in too fast because it was already too full. And so I think they were just limiting how fast you could get in because they were waiting for people to leave. And it was just unbelievable. You had no chance of buying anything. There was a voice actress there. I saw her, but like you couldn't talk to her or anything. There was no line. It was just a big pile of sweaty people. And she had like a little bad table. It wasn't even a well-set table. And you just couldn't do anything. There was just nothing you could do. So, you know, I suppose I could have tried to stick around to get a card from her, but I don't know. I heard the security was 3 old ladies. Yeah, felt like it. Yeah, I saw the Instagram reel. Oh, so there really was something like that happened at St. Louis PokeCon. I mean, I'm not surprised. I missed you, mister. Hey, what's up, Troy Malice? How's it going, man? I'm back. I'm back from my trip to St. Louis. Faint and have Kwip start screaming frantically. Free lifetime pass. Yeah, look, I still got the little stamp on the back of my hand. So they put a little stamp on you to let you in, but you probably could have squeezed in and they wouldn't have been able to totally stop you because there's just no way to track that many people. And again, it was about half the size of the Kansas City Collecticon, but Kansas City is a smaller city compared to St. Louis. St. Louis is the biggest city in Missouri. So now that I'm saying that out loud, it just kind of makes sense that that catastrophe occurred. It was so funny, though. It was amusing to watch. I had a laugh. I was chuckling the whole time because I was so shocked by it. All right, guys. So here we go. Can Kwip draw Pokemon if requested? Yes. Yes, she can. If you'd like to do that, just let me know, and I'll get you in contact with her, or I can just tell her what you want, okay? Minister, just finished your 2026 predictions video. Love the resource gathering argument. I also agree with the crypto artificial scarcity. Some really thought-provoking points. Bitcoin's back up to like 69K. I think it went to like 70 and then to 69. But here's my question for you is, what is that even based off of? A feeling? Like, I think it's going to go higher. You know what I mean? Like, for most retail investors, and that would be me and you, they call us retail. I don't know why. For most regular people, you just buy it because you feel like it's going to go up. Then there's people who have like charts and pattern predictors and they go, ooh, the pattern looks like it's going to go up. But it's like even those patterns have to be based off of something real. So what is it really based off of? And it came out that Mr. Epstein maybe was an early buyer in Bitcoin, early supporter of the actual group working on Bitcoin, and I don't know exactly all that made it crash. Another theory is that the new Federal Reserve chair is going to lower interest rates, and that's going to make stocks more promising. Another concept is maybe gold and silver were looking like they were worth buying. There was a lot of reasons, but I don't think you can call crypto a store of value like gold. It's anything but gold. It's not gold. I think of it as sort of like you might as well rename it the gambling coin. That's what I really think it is. You're playing a game against other people on when to buy and when to sell. It's called gambling coin, like poker. And I don't have anything against poker. If you're really good at poker, you can get rich playing poker. I think that's what it is. I don't think of it as crypto coin. I think of it as gambling coin. And if you're good at it and you make money, that's great. But you know what you ought to do when you make a lot of money? You ought to go put some of it into like real estate. Go buy yourself a beachfront property, real estate, Pokemon cards, gold, and stocks. But I think of it as gambling coin. So that's my official feelings on crypto. And I actually did not own any of it. I sold all of my Bitcoin when it was 85,000. And I remember feeling like I was kind of stupid when I did that because it went up to 120K. But I had sold 20,000 coin or $20,000 worth of Bitcoin at the time to buy Pokemon cards. And guess what? Those all went to the moon in the last year, and Bitcoin's sitting at 69. So I actually it took a while to realize it, but I made the smart move at the time. So that's where we're at. By the way, I sold another card through PSA, through eBay. Check it out. So I sold a card that never would have sold here on the table. Two cards, actually. I sold Gloom for $200. $200. You think somebody would have bought Gloom for $200 on the table? I don't think so. The other one, and I think it reinforces my argument that the poker cards are very good. I sold the green Blastoise, not red version, green version. I sold green Blastoise for $380. That's a lot of money. Also, you might have already seen this. The Super Mario Brothers Bomb went for $250. So there you go. So these cards are selling. I've had them up on the table and they don't sell. And so now they're on eBay and in fact, they are selling. So Pokemon cards to the moon. Little shout out to those Mario cards too. It shows you that you don't have to focus on a single hobby. But it's very fascinating to watch all that. Okay, so a lot of fun opening monologue, by the way. Minister, just finished your 2026 predictions video. Thank you for that. Just saw a short of someone pulling SpongeBob's driver license from 2025 Chrome. That's hilarious. Hey, Kansas City is half in Kansas. That's true. It peaked at 71K. People were already planning to buy around 60. Pokemon. But again, planning to buy around 60 is just based on a feeling. You just go, I think it's near the bottom. That's called gambling coin. The promise of crypto has been decentralization. Oh, let's get away from the banks. Let's get away from the government. And really what it's truly been is a promise to give you a way to gamble. And that's the big thing these days. Opening booster packs, betting on the Super Bowl, the Kalshi or whatever it is, betting on if they hit the high note correctly at the Super Bowl or something like that. It's everything's just turning into a gambling game. It's very fascinating. I just go with the flow. I do like a little bit of gambling. I'm a degenerate, so what are you going to do about it? I like it. I think some of you guys like it. And as long as you do it within your means, it's not a problem. You know what I mean? It's just meant to be entertainment. But I don't like to call it an investment. The crypto stuff. I don't like to call it an investment because I don't understand the investment. But it doesn't, like Coca-Cola hires a bunch of people to go to work. They make a drink. They do a kind of labor. Crypto doesn't do that. It's just this thing you could put money into and hope that it goes up. All right, NHCC, I believe you just bought this and you want a picture of it. Now, you see it in front of your face, Mr. NHCC. Maybe we do take a picture of this right now. I was going to say, we could take a picture of it tonight with your other stuff, but maybe we just take a picture of this first. Okay. So all the way at the bottom of the Discord server, we have the private channels, which cost $20 if you want a private channel. And that's where I take pictures of what you own over here so you can easily track what you own. Yes. There we go. My daytime job is in investment banking. Oh, damn, dude, that's cool. My conclusion derived from talking to many, many wealthy people is that feeling rules the crypto trade. Old school money, folks, is very bearish on crypto. Yeah, I mean, I'm bearish too. I feel like you can make money on crypto. I really do. But you have to get your money into the peak, and then you have to withdraw that money and let it crash. That's how money is made in crypto. And the person who pulls out at the bottom, they pull out as it crashes to the bottom. They're the losers. You're the winner because you pulled out at the right time. Well, guess what? Timing the market like that is pretty close to gambling. It's like poker. Poker's basically gambling, but they claim it's a skill too, which I've heard is true because the best poker players consistently win overall. So, I do think it's gambling coin, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't like to pretend like it's strictly an investment because I don't think most people are buying it that way. All right, let's put this away. Oh, I know what else I wanted to do. I wanted to see how that video was doing, by the way. How's that video doing? Happy Monday, everybody. How's your Monday? You guys have it? Oh, I'm still logged into that other account. I got 2 YouTube accounts now. How's your Monday, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great Monday. Let's see. We're jumping over here. The St. Louis PokeCon video got a couple views, 1.5 thousand. Here's my Pokemon prediction video. Did it make any money? It broke 2,000 views. It got a lot of subscribes, actually. And I earned a whopping $18 from it. That's interesting. We go, $18. I'm basically rich. All right, let's put this over here. Good. Now, time to crack out my personal collection and put it up for sale so you guys have lots of hot cards to slab away. No, I'm kidding. I can't do that. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. How's Monday? So I didn't get to watch the Super Bowl last night because the only way you could watch it is if you bought like a subscription or signed up for one. Some of them offered free subscriptions, but then you'd have to cancel afterwards. So I just didn't watch it. I was shocked. I was like, you really can't watch it? Like, dude, I remember being a kid and you just turn on the TV and you could watch it. Ooh, Vincent Tornadoes. Okay, binder break is reset. Love the new video. Please, bro. Please, bro. Can you open a Pokemon pack for me, please? That's Mike's side's income. A little bit, actually. That's true. That's actually not an exaggeration. We used the ad revenue to make up a portion of Mike's side's paycheck. So ad revenue is important. When I entered the job market in 2020, I opted out of buying company equity and bought Tag Team Era booster boxes. Woo! Very, very good. All right, next order is Victor Cardenas, Mew V251 TCCG 9 slab. All right, so is that on the table right now? That one might be on the table right now. So our next order is a slab that was purchased off the table. We got some fantastic slabs, including these new hand-drawn ones from Miss Kwip. You know, she doesn't draw those quickly. It takes her a long time to do it, and often it takes her multiple tries to get a good one because she does it all by hand in one take, right? So this is not done with like stencils or like, she's not like, what do they call that, where you're drawing over the lines. She's not doing that. She's just sitting down with the pen and going in one take on these. It's kind of impressive if you ever watch it. It's a lot of fun. And she might spend like 5 or 6 hours working on those drawings. Here we are. Very good. All right. And let's grab this. Let's say she spent 5 hours on a drawing. If you paid for that drawing for $150 at 5 hours, then it's making about $30 an hour, except I'm the one who's encapsulating it. So you're getting the value of the encapsulation as well. Let's see. Oh, it might actually be in the TCC9's channel. Okay. So give me a second. He wants what again? The Mew V TCC9? Let's go look it up. It was sold. Someone got it. You can put it on my slab away. Oh, you got it, man. Okay, no problems. No problems. Good thing I read chat. I would have gone dumpster diving for that in the nines box. Okay, so Mr. Cardenas, we're jumping back over here. How are you doing today, man? We're going to go to slab away. Let's see. Oh, we probably put you under your other name, your nickname. Aha! The Pikachu Game Boy sealed. And the amount we're putting away today is $82. Okay. Minus 82. Yeah, 1498 remaining. 1498. There it is. You got that cool video game from me. I forgot about that, man. All right. Well, we have not received any fresh Ascended Heroes, so we just have what's remaining of that right now. Here's an order from Edgar Gonzalez. Last 2 spots on the Rocket Pack. You got it, man. Welcome back. How are you today? So that's a pretty big morning order. Let's see. Sometimes the mornings are really busy. The morning is a very interesting time to be in the stream because it can stretch on as long as we have buyers. So as long as we have something to do, this stream can go on for like 4 hours if you really want it to. There's no cutoff time. How do you feel about skyrocketing price in One Piece? It's fantastic if you're somebody who was a big One Piece collector before it was cool. If you're getting into it now, it's terrible. If you sold off your One Piece cards just before the jump, that is not a great feeling. All right, I'm going to have a sip of my drink. Hold on. I was just coughing there. All right, much better. I was vending Saturday. So many people trying to sell me One Piece. Tell me about it, man. So they're trying to offload their One Piece. Is that right? And how did you feel about it? Did that make you not want it because there were so many sellers? You know, I don't buy as many cards from the audience. I usually just sell a lot. We have like the re-rolls though in the live customs and the Poke Shuffles, but that's very easy. You get 90%. I would have thought Brilliant Stars would have been a much more valuable, appreciated set by now. It seems like it has everything needed to be. I guess I'll buy more. It's a great set. So is this one we're doing a box break on. Check it out. So this is our box break on Astral Radiance. It's a fantastic set. There's nothing wrong with it. And it's only 41 and 13, which is a low number. That means it's cheap. So it's a great set. I recommend buying in because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to teach you guys some stuff if you're newer to this. So the way it works, when Pokemon's releasing really hot sets like Ascended Heroes, all the money in everyone's wallet just goes toward Ascended Heroes for a while. But eventually Pokemon releases an unpopular set like Nihil Zero, and then people don't know what to buy next because they don't want to buy Nihil Zero. Well, what ends up happening is when Pokemon releases stinky sets, everyone goes backwards and they start buying the older previous sets. So sets like this one, Astral Radiance, are set to jump next time Pokemon slows down its release of good sets, okay? So this is a good accumulation period for those forgotten sets because meanwhile, everyone's busy buying Ascended Heroes, and that's a little expensive right now, you know what I'm saying? All right, Edgar Gonzalez, the pack split. He says, I told them I'd buy 75 and they were okay with it. Whatever I didn't sell, I'm posting on eBay because I didn't want to hold this bag. So everyone's got this scary feeling like the market's too hot for One Piece and it can't last. But you never know. You never know. It is, and that's like crypto. That's like crypto. You just don't know if it's going to hold. You don't know what's keeping the price high or the price low. You know what I mean? It's actually very similar that way. All right, let's count these up. Mystery, you haven't posted the link for the menu yet. Oh, let me get the menu up. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. Let me put it into chat. All right, so I'm jumping back over here. We're going to open this up. Okay. Did everyone here get to see the Sarah Dusenberry's Charizard? Hand-drawn Charizard. We drew it a while back. If you guys recall, we had Rockstar Mahi, and he was begging for a Charizard. So I hand drew him a Charizard that I truly was willing to give him. Notice it's called Cherry Zard. Okay, so I drew him what he wanted. I was not going to give him like a $10,000 Charizard or whatever he wanted. So I drew him a Charizard I was going to give him. And he ended up saying he didn't want it. It hurt my feelings really bad. He didn't want my Charizard. So I kind of signed it, but then after he rejected it, I added, please, bro, redeem it. You can go watch it. There's probably a video of it somewhere. I don't know if there's an actual clip. Like, I don't know if Mike's side turned that whole thing into a clip, but it was really fun. And so this is the Rockstar Mahi Charizard. And then we ran a quick little auction. It didn't last very long, and the card sold for a whopping 25 bucks. This is Sarah's $25 Charizard, and now it's encapsulated just like I promised. Although I think I encapsulated it in a baseball holder. I don't think it matters, though. The A is for authentic, by the way. A means authentic. Same over here. A for authentic. And it's just a cute little thing. So I finally got that encapsulated, and now we can have fun with it. Most of the places here do 60. I need repeat customers, says Mr. Aovic. Let me turn this down a little bit. How's business been, Mr. Aovic? I imagine it's got to be kind of good based on what I saw at the PokeCon event in St. Louis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need one more person for the pack split. We are one away from the pack split going off. Wow. Okay. That pack split, it did finish, but it was unusually pricey because all those vintage packs are going way up. I don't even know if I want to keep hosting that thing, but I mean, I should because it just went off, right? Here's Mr. Anthony. Hey, TCC, is it all right if I use my store credit for 4 sealed packs of History of Z? Yes, sir. Let's go find that store credit. Give me a second. History of Z, huh? Let me go look for that. Give me a second. Is that set still going crazy? We are 234. I'm good, but I'm too nice with the kids and let them hustle me a little bit. We are. Yeah, so one of the things that stood out to me about PokeCon in St. Louis was there was a decent number of like adults who were there by themselves with no kids. There was also a lot of kids too. There was just tons of people. They were shocking. Shocking, man. Actually, when I was in line, I asked this kid who looked like he was probably about 15 or 16. And I asked him, I said, what's your best card? And he had this big goofy smile. He's like, Charizard, bro. He pulls this Charizard out of a knapsack on his chest. And it was a CGC Gem Mint 10 Japanese Charizard from like, I don't remember. It was like Sword and Shield. It was just a V card. And it was like all hyped for it. And I was like, oh man, I'm out of touch. Because I was thinking, what is that, like 40 bucks? And I was thinking, that's not an expensive Charizard. But then I just sort of realized, I was like, damn, dude, you have a warped sense of the hobby over time from what we do. Because what we do over here is pretty incredible. All right, so let's get the sealed History of Z's. Over here, to me, that's like a junk card. Gem 10. 1, 2. But he was so proud of it. I was like, oh, nice, dude. So, I kind of cheered him on a little bit. I didn't say anything after that. I was like, very cool. And again, though, it kind of gave me a warped, a sort of you're out of touch feeling. Because we come over here and we got like these cards like this Manganami that just trades hands easily. So we get a warped sense of value over here. These cards are pricey is what I'm saying, man. All right, so History of Z. Let's take a look at our menu price. It's going to be in the extended menu. All right, History of Z is 56. Let's see. 56 times 4 is 224. And you had, boop. So you got 10 bucks left over? There we go. Is that Nami English? That's Japanese Nami. If that was English, it would be even more expensive. It'd be nuts. Here you go, Mr. Anthony. Thank you so much, man. Mr. is out of touch with the plebs. Well, it's because there's a lot of just normal, regular families with kids who collect, and the kids will collect like a $30, $40, $50 card and feel like they're doing something really special and cool. And we've broken into like an adult area of collecting where it's like, sweaty dudes who are really serious, have serious jobs like accounting or software engineering. And so we're like in a whole different aspect of the hobbies. You know what I mean? All right, Mr. Anthony, let's grab your bag. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Aha! Oh, we've already got a pack in here. That's very interesting. Kids are happy with a lot less. Holy moly, she went up. Yes, she did. It goes from, I'm not spending $200 on that, to damn, only $200? Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't buy anything good with less than like $400 anymore. All right, let's take a quick look into this. So this set, we're down to like our last box of it. And it's History of Z Booster, Boosty Box. What's the damage on it? How bad is it getting? All right, so it's basically at about $1,000 now. Wow, that's just crazy. Divided by 24. So, and what's our current price on it? So our price could probably go up by $2. I'm just going to leave it where it's at. It's ready to go up by $2. We're going to leave it where it's at. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Anthony. I really appreciate it, man. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great weekend. Gabriel Gallegos says he'll take the last spot in the pack split, so that's good. Let me check the website real fast, Gabriel. I actually forgot. I need to refresh the website. So let me check over there, make sure we don't have an order over there. All right. It doesn't look like it. Last order on the website was Brett Love. What did we do for Brett Love? Okay, cool. Live customs. So it is your turn. Gabriel Gallegos, what's up, man? How's it going? Let's see. I missed my secret lair drop. There's still some in stock, but not the ones I want. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Secret lair's cool. I like that Magic the Gathering is getting serious about gradable cards. G. All right, guys, we got it. It's ending. The Rocket Pack. Ooh. Mr. Gonzalez is in there. Mr. Gabriel's in there. Now, the way it works is one lucky person pulls the rare. But let me say this. If it's not a heavy pack, if it's a light pack, it's possible for the most valuable card to be an uncommon card. We're talking Dark Flareon, Dark Vaporeon, Dark Jolteon, Dark War Turtle, Dark Charmeleon. Dark Charmeleon is one of the most expensive cards in the whole set. So we're hoping for that. We're hoping for Dark Charmeleon. In the commons, you got so much potential over there too, but especially one in particular, Charmander. He's expensive. And then in the rares, hopefully a heavy pack. Again, we won't know until it's open. But if it's a light pack, we're hoping for non-holo Dragonite, non-holo Charizard, and non-holo Blastoise. Those are all good, okay? So here we go. Let's get it. You know, usually they're light packs because there's usually about 3 to 1 light packs in a box. These packs are unweighed. The sellers always claim they're unweighed, but who knows? But we've actually had really good luck with our rocket packs. And I think part of that is because rocket packs are harder to weigh than the other sets. So that's one of the best things about rocket packs. When it comes to weighing them for holo cards, it doesn't work. You can usually weigh out like 6 to 7 packs that are heavy out of the box. And the rest will be a little harder to interpret. And usually there's at least 2 or 3 heavy packs that you just can't weigh out. They weigh as light packs. So that's why unweighed rocket packs are so fun. There's a really good shot at a random one handing out a heavy pack every now and then. All right, so you ready? All we got to do is shuffle this up and open the pack. So let's show off the names. Sarah Dusenberry's in here. Mr. Chad, Sarah's in here twice. So you guys are fans of the vintage packs. It was the second D&D one from BGS. I want the Blacklight set, but it's sold. Have you created a new binder break? Yes, sir. There's a new binder break, but I need to work on it. Maybe we'll work on it live. Maybe work on it. You know, you take a day off and you get out of whack with everything. We have a fresh jumbo pack break, everybody. And we've got a new binder break too. The first thing in the binder break is lots of poker cards because we own a lot of poker cards. But I like to have a couple elements. I like to have the poker cards. I like to have a little bit of like actual vintage, maybe like some vintage commons because they don't cost like $100 each. I suppose we could put like more expensive cards in there if the binder break was larger. So if it went back to like 1 in 6, we could go back to like hosting, you know, bigger, more expensive cards. But I think 1 in 4 is the magic number. You know why? Because that's the size of the jumbo pack break. So people are kind of able to compare what they're going to get from the binder break to what they might have gotten from the jumbo pack break. All right, give me a number here, guys. Any thoughts on Zukon cards? I know you've shown a couple. I only own like 2 Zukon cards. They're a bit strange looking. I don't have anything against them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. It's hard to tell what the Zukon card's real value is. They're very niche. They're very new. I like the quest stickers a lot. Have you seen the quest stickers? They're going for crazy amounts of money. All right. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Here's the tear. Feeling good. Feeling authentic. Everything's looking good so far. Set this down. All right. Good luck, everybody. I'm going to move this over here. What do we have? For Mr. Chad. Chad's first. Okay. You got one of the uncommons. That's the goal, is to get one of the uncommons. It's actually looking pretty clean, too. Oh, my gosh. Dark Dragonair right off the bat. The uncommons have so much potential, man. There's so much value in them. That Dark Dragonair looks awesome. All right, so that's you, Dark Dragonair. Mr. Chad, congratulations on that. Now, see, you can't just give this card up too fast. You actually pull it out of a fresh pack. That makes it special. It's not like the other girls. We are. There we go. That is so cool. Dark Dragonair, everyone. Oh, man, imagine we pulled Error Dragonite out of one of these packs one day. You know, it's really shocking that Error Dragonite is... We've got one video of it being pulled, and it's our video. He must be so rare. Sarah, like, how many rocket packs get opened all the time, and there's no other footage of it? Okay, Sarah has a lot of cards in here. Oh, yes, that's 2 for 2. Dark Dragonair, Dark Rapidash are both awesome. We don't want, what we don't want is trainer cards, which they don't do bad either, but they're really not as good. So far we got 2 Pokemon. Hopefully the third card is also a Pokemon. Sarah Dusenberry. We're looking for one of the Evolutions, too, by the way. That's what we wanted, Evolution. Saw a base pack the other day, was considering to rip it. Man, one day, so many of these will be ripped, you just won't be able to afford to anymore. That'll be the bottom line. And here's Mr. Edgar. You get one of the uncommons as well. Very good. I was hoping for that. You went pretty deep in here. Hey, that's great. Magikarp's really expensive in this set. Actually, Magikarp... Oh, did the camera get bumped? Magikarp in general is getting really expensive. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I think people are paying a lot of money to acquire Magikarps. Like, I own a couple of the Sky Ridge Magikarps, reverse holo, and I just saw one go in auction for like 2K, and I was like, damn, dude. Like, I didn't even bother bidding on it. I was just watching it, and it went for 2K without any help. And I just think that that's crazy, actually. So Magikarps are becoming a collectible, like... You know, like one of those Pokemon that does better than other Pokemon. And why wouldn't it do well? I mean, it's the pre-evolution for Gyarados. But I think there's something very cute about it just being a simple fish, like a plain simple fish that really sells it. And that was sort of the clever design of it back when it originally got started in the first place. You know, Magikarp's just a doofy fish. My gosh, where's your bag? So Edgar Gonzalez, I'm looking for your bag. Edward Cornelio. Here's a Estuardo. Ever Treminio. Is this an E-box? The front of it's an L box. What about the back of it? Did you need a new bag? Maybe you need a new bag. Layman. Here's an Ethan Hoffman. Yeah, let's get you a new bag. Okay, so we'll get you a fresh bag, and we'll have this card be in a top loader for you to get it started. That'll give your bag some sturdiness, okay? Fresh bag. So right now, you guys are enjoying watching a vintage rocket pack get open. Isn't that nice? Just some nice vintage out there. Oh, we haven't chosen a new box for box break either. I got to make a choice on that. 226. That's the age of your bag. 226. Okay, I'll just put you right there now. Now. Boop. Oh, Gabriel gets the rare. All right, Gabriel. Let me look at it. Well, it's bright enough that it could be a holo, but it's very flat. This makes me think it's a non-holo, okay? I'm going to set this here. So we don't know what that is. We'll reveal it at the end. Gabriel has sniped the hit. Oh, you were so close, Edgar. All right, Edgar, so you're hoping for Charmander now. Charmander. You got a Magikarp uncommon in good condition, and here's Squirtle. All right, good. Squirtle, Charmander, Dratini are all nice, actually. But if I was going to say the second best card in the commons, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Charmander. Here's Edgar again. So chance for Charmander again. This one's looking real clean, too. Let's see what we got here. What we got? Dark Raticate. It's weird that he's a common and not an uncommon, you know, because he actually evolves from Raticate. Here we are. Okay. I think he's like an uncommon in a different set, but I don't know which one. Here's Ryan Shapiro, Mr. Ryan. Beautiful pack. Don't know if it's hollow yet. Mankey, so that's Ryan Shapiro. All right. Lovely. There we go. What up, TCC gang? What's up, Mr. Troy Malice? Damn, mister, I've done more work at work this week than I have in a year, I think, and it keeps screwing up my stream time with you. Sorry to hear that, Mr. Russ. Doing a lot of work right now? We are. Here's Brett Love. All right, Mr. Brett. There we go. Got to do what you got to do, man. Here's Mr. Brett with the Voltorb. Now, where did I put Brett Love stuff? He's got a whole box over here. I think Brett was telling me that he would like to get rid of some more of the junk in his bag. Always down to trade your cards for slabs, guys, if you're looking for slabs. Here's Sarah Dusenberry. Ooh, Sarah, here goes. What we got for you, Sarah? This one's looking real clean. I don't see any white dots. Okay. You pulled Charmander. Oh, Sarah, that's so nice. Wow. All right. So Squirtle has been pulled out of the pack. Charmander has been pulled out of the pack. That's good. That's good. Okay. That's why this Rocket Pack's always so fun, man. Because it's like, even with no big hit in the pack, the commons and the uncommons alone can do such a good job. You are. So I had fun over the weekend. I visited some old places I used to go when I lived in St. Louis. I went to St. Charles Main Street, and that was kind of interesting walking up and down it, but it had a feeling to it like it wasn't doing well. Here's Candy Vargas. What you got, Candy? You know, I noticed a lot of the businesses from before we left, they were all gone. Ooh, Machop. Only a couple of the most popular businesses were still there with their original names. Looked like all these new businesses had popped up in the old buildings. And so what that told me is I feel a lot of the businesses had gone out of business. And Karis was mentioning how that was probably COVID. People probably stopped going out to places like Old Town Main Street. So it probably killed a bunch of those businesses. Ooh, that's a sharp piece of plastic. Yuck. And then last but not least, we've got Mr. Edgar. Let's see what you got on the last card. Abra, maybe? Could be Abra. But Slowpoke, that's good too, actually. All right. There you have it. So your main pulls, because you went deepest in here, Squirtle and Magikarp. You also have Raticate and Slowpoke, which is decent. Okay. Do you still have the Dark Magneton slab? I believe it is BGS. I saw it earlier last week during a stream. I think I probably disassembled any 9.5s. Is that if that's what you mean? I'm not sure. Now, last but not least. Okay, here goes. Oh, man, that's nice. That's Dark Gyarados. Very nice. It is a non-holo, but it shows you what an impressive light pack can come out when you open up Rocket. Dark Gyarados, it is a non-holo. I kind of had a feeling it was because usually the holographic cards will have a slight warp to them. We are. If even very slight. But that card was perfectly flat. So I was like, that appears to be light. Here it is. But yeah, well, that's not a surprise. Let's go grab your bag. Again, the light packs are like 3 to 1 in a box. Let's see. Greg, Gil, Gerard, Gabriel, Garrett. New bag. Can I say I really like Quip's drawing in the back? Yeah, so that's Quip's Haunter. And it features Haunter on like a theater stage. And he's doing a marionette of the cute little Mimikyu and the Bonnet. And it's just adorable. And she's drawn quite a few cards. 100% of them are sold at this point. They're all sold. They are. So all of them are gone. She's got 2 left now. One she just freshly drew. And one that I just encapsulated. And so you get the value of the encapsulation. So before we took it off the menu, Cardconomist encapsulation was $40. You get the value of the encapsulation and you get the card. Here it is. But interestingly, we also put this up on the website for the first time. It's on the website under a category called Gallery. So if you go to the menu and click on Gallery, you'll see them. And even after they're done selling, we're going to leave these up on the up in the gallery. But here's a cute little Espeon. Very cute. I thought it was a fun picture because I mentioned to her that usually Umbreon is shown off at night and Espeon is shown in the daytime, right? Because he's like a sunlight Pokemon and Umbreon's like a moonlight Pokemon. But she drew Espeon in the moonlight for once, so I think that that's kind of fun. All right, I'm gonna write GG on your bag, and still know what that means. Okay, very nice. Thank you so much. You said consignment box breaks recently, correct? I may have something. I'm very interested in all kinds of consignment, but I can especially help you move expensive booster boxes. Well, think of it like this. We have a rare moment right now where there's an opportunity to liquidate one of your booster boxes. Now, if I go buy a box or if I choose one of my boxes that I already own, and I own a lot of them, then I won't need yours anymore. And it could be like several months, 6 months until the next spot is open. So we have this opening to liquidate an old booster box. If you would like to try that, just get in contact with me. I would like to try it too. I've never done it before, so I'd like to know what it's like. But I have been doing consignment on people's slabs. All right, did you ever fix the Dragon Ball Beyond Generations price? I believe I did. Let's see, Generations price is $18. Wow. Wow, that's crazy, man. Okay, so that's Gabriel Gallegos. Thank you so much. That order's complete. And here's that jumbo pack. And I say, let's take a minute and work on this binder break. So the binder break is starting out with some juice already. These are just some Kirby cards, but these are actually XY era poker cards. I believe this one's Leaf Green Eevee. It's pretty serious. Ace of Spades Tepig, Growlithe, and Mr. Mime from Leaf Green, and XY Terrakion. Here's Vincent Full Art. This is a box topper for Final Fantasy. It's a very nice card. And here is a promo Tornadus, and this came out of the ETB for Pokemon Black or Pokemon White. Good stuff, but we need more. The binder break has to have more. The booster box is 200. 200 might be too cheap. That might be too cheap for us. Okay, here we go. What do we got here? So we've got some Tornadus. Here's a nice Pikachu. Awesome. Here's Matt Cargo. Here's this guy. These are like filler. Like, you're going to get these just because they exist. Brugzish. Ah, yes, the liberal arts major, Brugzish. All right, lovely. And let's try another one. Hold on. I have a Vincent, a TCC 9. Long time no see. You been out, or is my awareness laxing? Hey, what's up, Mr. Foxy? Nice to see you. No, I've been streaming like nonstop forever. What's your opinion on the halftime show? We talked about the halftime show a lot in our Discord server, and I could tell there were a lot of strong feelings. People seem to either really like it or they really didn't like it. So people are like, it's a very galvanizing subject. You either really, really liked it or you really, really didn't like it. I personally felt like it was politically divisive. So that's how I felt about it. And that's too bad because people are just there to watch football. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like football is a very American sport. It's kind of like an American cultural identity kind of subject for me. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you got so many artists you could have chosen, or the artist, Mr. Bad Bunny, who I'd never heard of before, he could have just, maybe could have sang one of the songs in English or something. I don't know. I don't know if people who really enjoy sports also really enjoy political abstract ideas, right? Like a deep political conversation about what it means to be American, or, you know, if Americans' language is English or whatever, right? So I don't. I think it'll end up being one of the most controversial halftime shows. Very divisive, and it certainly spurred a lot of conversations between people, and people are learning new things about each other. You know, they're learning about how they feel about things. So if you go online and you look at maybe like, there, you can go to like X, or you can go read the comment section of a news station here or there. You're seeing a pretty strong divide. You know, like you're seeing a large response of people who didn't like it and a large response from people who liked it. So there's the binder break getting a little fatter here. Got to be more entertaining than Kid Rock. Yeah, I heard that there was like another show on another stream or something and it's sort of like a counter show. And I don't know about all that. I didn't watch that. We are. I did click on it for a second, and I heard like country music, and then I was like, yoinks, clicked off right away. But, you know, I think it's a highly controversial one, and people will probably fight over it for a long time. We are. I just think ultimately the goal is for Americans to feel united instead of divided, or like, you know, like we're in some sort of angry battle over the culture. You know what I mean? Like a battle over whose culture is whose. It's like we're all supposed to be American. That's the goal. And football and apple pie and all that good stuff. So that's my take on the football show. I didn't get to watch the Super Bowl. They were charging, they wanted all this money for me to actually watch the Super Bowl Sunday. I was like, what? Usually you can just go watch the Super Bowl Sunday. So I didn't even get to watch them play. It was so disappointing. It felt really greedy. I was like, you got to be kidding me, dude. You already make a lot of money from the commercials. And I was waiting for the Pokemon commercial to come on. And the Pokemon commercial, I guess, wasn't a big thing at all. I don't know. I saw something on TikTok after the show, but I didn't think it was very much. Let's see. My only thing is that people need to realize Puerto Ricans are Americans. No, I think everyone agrees on that subject. There's probably a minority of people who disagree with that subject. People agree Puerto Ricans are an American territory as part of America. I think it's more like there's this huge sort of like divide in America over, you know, should we be an English-speaking country or Spanish-speaking country? I think that's what it is. But let's see what else you guys are saying. Got to be more entertaining than Kid Rock. He didn't even sing. He was sad. Got to agree. He was on jean shorts. Not as entertaining as Justin Janet with the wardrobe malfunction. Let's see. You don't know about crack side streams? Can you do a thumbs up? No halftime show was playing where I was. We put on the Olympics for 30 minutes. Those thumbs aren't real. They're prosthetics. He lost them in the great Costco brawl of 2024. Yeah. Even the Super Bowl is being shit-pooed as a service. I miss when things were consumer-friendly. I mean, the idea for the Super Bowl is everyone could watch it, and then they made money on the advertisement. I had two options. Sign up for like a trial version of some sort of subscription to YouTube TV, in which case that was like $82 a month, and I would have to immediately cancel it after the show, or actually just go buy like access to one of the sports streaming channels, and they're all like the same $50. I'm not going to do that. I just want to watch the Super Bowl like when I was a kid, like when I was a teenager. I don't want to pay $82 to watch the Super Bowl. That's nuts, dude. But it's like you don't have to if you do the free sign up. But it's like I don't want to have to be afraid that I forget to unsubscribe either. You know what I mean? So it's like a pressure tactic. You know, a bunch of people probably signed up for the free service, and 95% of people probably canceled it. But maybe some people didn't cancel it afterwards, and they know that that's how it's going to work. And so it feels like a scam, you know, it feels like they're trying to get your money from you in a way you didn't intend to spend it. So I didn't like that. Anyways, that has to do with signing up to actually watch the Super Bowl. I found that to be very frustrating. Let me go ahead and refresh this. I feel you were more conservative before. You're talking about me or somebody else? Hey, what's up, Mr. Oscar? I saw my Xfinity Comcast service in Illinois was free for people with actual cable services. Fair enough. Cable wins. Lamar Hughes is next. Hey, what's up, man? Lamar Hughes says, Super Mario Panini. Ooh, these are cool. All right, Super Mario Panini. What about you guys? What was your take on the whole subject? We are. All right. We got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, if you go online, if you just go look, there's a lot of people talking about it. Some people seem to really, really hate it. Some people seem to really, really like it. And that's what I'm observing as well. Let me go ahead and snip this. Sneep. America's a really diverse country now, you know. There's people who are Filipino. There's people who are Vietnamese. There's Ukrainians. There's Germans. There's Russians. There's Chinese. There's people from all over. And I think the goal is for us all to be unified. That's why I think it's all about that, you know. All right, here's Super Mario. I played Night Rain instead of watching the Super Bowl. Why? You can't help yourself with Night Rain. It's a good game. Here's Daisy and Baby Bowser. Who gave birth to Baby Bowser? It was mostly the same people that hated the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Well, I actually thought that was good. Like, I think that was meant to be political as well. The halftime show for Kendrick Lamar. Birdo, man, she got that mouth, man. I think that show was meant to be, but Kendrick Lamar had a very catchy song, and you could hear it. You could actually understand it. I think 90% of Americans did not know what was actually being sang there. And so just from a sort of practical perspective, it's like you can still have a really powerful message and just sing in a shared language that we all know. You know what I mean? Here's Baby Bowser. Like, imagine every halftime show just becomes each ethnic group in America singing in their ethnic language. Like, is that actually an improvement, or is it more like separatism where you're saying, I'm not American, I'm actually this other thing? And so that's a conversation they had a long time ago in the past too. That was an actual conversation, separatism versus unity. And it's like, I want to be American. I want to feel good. It's our national sport, bro. That's the thing that we all share in common. But we don't all speak Spanish. It's like, I think it's something like 13% of Americans actually speak Spanish. And I was listening to some people. I was on TikTok listening to some people review it, and there were like Latino families, and they were talking about how like they didn't even understand it. They're like, we don't get it. Why is this? You know what I mean? Like, they're not there for that. You know what I mean? So it's a interesting conversation, and I think that again, people are like learning things about each other, about how you feel about certain subjects or how you perceive it. So it's certainly a conversation starter. Here's Baby Bowser, Birdo, and Daisy. Yes, Daisy. I almost called her Peach, but I stopped myself. All right, next pack. You ready? Okay. Like Mario's Italian, should he sing his half show in Italian or in English? It's a great question, isn't it? If he sings in Italian and people go, I don't know, bro, does that mean we hate Italy? I don't think it means we hate Italy. Here's Wario. Ooh. I won my 9-leg combo on the Seahawks. Oh, yeah, sports betting. I wonder how much money was gained or lost. Sports betting has become like the big pastime in America right now, apparently. Not just sports betting, but like all like turning everything into a gamble, like these call sheet websites and all this stuff where every little thing that could happen is being turned into some sort of digital gamble. I keep telling this story in Missouri. Sports betting was made legal in December of 2025. So it became legal finally in Missouri for the first time. And in as little as like 1 full month, Missourians had gambled $534 million on sports gambling. $534 million in 1 month. And so I can't even imagine how much money was really spent across the country on the Super Bowl. I mean, it must have been so much. And I don't know how to feel about that. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like, do we love gambling? Do we think gambling should be limited? It's actually, it's kind of its own controversial subject. Here we go. Here's Baby Bowser. Ooh. And here's Bowser. Oh, yeah. All right. You got the king, Mr. Lamar. The king of the Koopas. Let's see. We should all learn Klingon and just have that as a universal language. Here it is. Here's Baby Bowser. Here's Bowser. That's fair. What I said was more targeted at other people than you, since a lot of it is just veiled racism. Well, I don't understand that. So if people are like, there might actually be people out there who are racist toward, I guess, Puerto Rico, but I don't even understand that. Like, I feel like most Americans don't even, Puerto Rico doesn't occupy a large, part of their thoughts day to day. Like, what has Puerto Rico done? Puerto Rico hasn't like done anything bad in America to elicit sort of like a negative perception. It's just a nice place you can go. It's a nice island. That's about it. So I when I first heard that he was going to be the halftime show, I heard there was controversy to that, and I actually genuinely did not understand the controversy. I was like, what's the controversy? Like, like, have you ever listened to Black Eyed Peas? They're not, just 4 white people singing a cappella or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So America's music and art industry has always been extremely diverse, and that's actually the standard. That's just how it always is. So I guess it's just that he sang in another language. That's the actual controversy. And which once I'd heard it, I said, oh, no one can understand this. You know what I mean? Well, maybe like 9 out of 10 Americans don't understand what's going on. So, and that is controversial. Here's Bowser. Here's Mecha Cooper. Super Leaf. Oh, yeah. Here's Baby Bowser again. So there you have it. Lamar Hughes. Thank you so much, man. Let me grab your bag. Okay. Oh, and we're ready for a new pack split, aren't we? So we got to pick a new pack split now. Lamar with an L. So I think you'd be over here. Aha. Okay. We speak Spanish, that it goes to show that racism is deeper than some borders. Yeah, but this is what I was saying when I meant like there's a lot of discovery going on. There's like people are learning how we feel about different things. So you speak Spanish because you were born and the people who raised you speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, so I get to choose if I learn it or not. Why am I learning Spanish? I don't like Spain. There's nothing about Spain. Like, I wouldn't learn French either. What is so great about Spanish? And then if you actually look at the history of why you speak Spanish, is because Spain did a ton of colonization of Latin America. So what's the romance with the language? Why is it romantic to you? It's not romantic to me. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say, like, there's some kind of discovery going on. Like, I'm not in love with the language. I don't want to learn French either. I don't hate French people, but I don't want to learn French either. I already know a language. It works really well. So that's Super Mario Panini. Let's see what's next. So now we're going to hit refresh over here, and I think we're actually going to pick out a new vintage pack. It was a big slap in the Latino community after ICE been deporting of hundreds. Mr. Foxy says invaded. I'm Spanish, bro. What? You're Spanish? Like from Spain Spanish? I mean, Spain's cool. I would retire to Spain. But, you know, Spain's not like making the latest AI or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, Spain's not making the latest Apple iPhone. So Spain's just kind of like this chill country that's not doing anything these days. It's sort of like a vacation country. You know, like Greece maybe. Like, Greece is kind of like one of those countries you think of going to for vacation. But I'm saying, like, I don't want to learn Spanish just because Spain exists any more than I want to learn French because France exists. And the Latin American or Latin countries, they know Spanish because they were colonized. They didn't choose it. A bunch of Spanish dudes with guns came in, killed your forefathers, probably raped your women, and then made you guys learn Spanish. Why does that mean I got to learn Spanish? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to love it. I don't hate it either, but I don't love it. And I'm not as inspired to learn it just because Spain conquered you guys a long time ago. So that doesn't inspire me. But that's the truth. That's how it actually works. You know, that's not like a clever take or anything. That's why people aren't excited to learn it in America necessarily. Because we're not looking at it going, oh yeah, me too. That's just not how it's working. But that's also why the controversy probably exists over the show. All right, let me pick a pack out. So, what shall we open? How about, we could do Rocket again. Rocket's really nice. I like the affordability on it. Let's see. I mean, the cool thing about the future is you get to choose what language you learn. You don't have to be romantically in love with the language. We could open a base set pack. That'd be interesting. We could open a fossil pack. How about, what about a sandstorm pack? I feel like sandstorms are always fun. Here's a sandstorm pack. Let's take a look at sandstorm real fast. All right. There we go. Let's go look up sandstorm. Sandstorm booster pack. Mr. Read My Message. What's up, Mr. Pedrick? Do you have any graded energy cards? At the moment, I think I only have one. It's the Rocket Returns Metal Energy. It's a really rare card. Mister, I hope you got some Z's this weekend. It was all right. I slept okay. Yeah, I got some Z's. All right, one moment. It looks like this is it for us, guys. We're going to be opening this next. All right. Would you sell it? The graded, so hold on, let me take a quick look at this. Okay, it is quite pricey, but we are going to sell it. What about the whole Pig Latin made-up language between friends? I think that's what it's called. Ipse or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's just, I guess that's just for fun. I don't know. Show us the breaks and the box break. No problem, man. We're setting up a break right in front of your very eyes. All right. Actually, let me see if I have a nicer looking pack for you guys. Give me a second. So this is a Sandstorm pack. We're going to host a break on it. But let me see which ones we got real fast. Let me see what the nicest looking one is. I probably own a couple of these. Okay, here's another one. Give me a second here. Let me test one more, okay? Since this will be very expensive, let's take a second and get it right. Ooh, that's nice. Probably should have just kept these all together to get started with. Aha! How about this one? All right, so we'll probably start with this one right here. Oops. Whew. What do you guys think, huh? Are you going to have a new old box? Yes. Yes, that is the goal. Okay. So I'll set this over here. And we'll grab this. Show us all the breaks. You got it, Mr. Edward. Ooh. Ooh. So there it is. We got EX Sandstorm. But he will not be $44 a spot. He will be a little higher. He's going to be 67. 6767. All right. And this is going to say 9 out of 9. There it goes. Have you heard a Spanish person speaking? So I'm almost 40, right? And I lived through the 90s. And I saw the change in our country over the years where, you know, your shows used to be in English, like your kid shows, and now every show is like Dora the Explorer. So I've witnessed changes in the country over whatever it would be, like 30 years. And Puerto Rico happens to speak Spanish. It's a controversial subject that has perhaps complex layers to it. But ultimately, it's an all-American football game made here in America. And people are patriotic about that. And that's not a problem. I think patriotism is not a bad thing for your country. People want to have a collective identity where we're all unified instead of maybe separating into, like, what if Germans had like a German song and dance at the Super Bowl? It'd be so weird, wouldn't it? We want to be like, America, baby, caca, you know, eagle screams and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? That's what people are looking for. And it's okay to feel that way. Like, you can have an opinion and we can have a different opinion. So you can like agree to disagree on the subject. So here it is, EX Sandstorm, 9 out of 9. Look at that. I'm a person from Spain. Have you heard someone from Spain? I live out in the countryside of Missouri, where there's nothing like that out here. I've been in St. Louis. I went to school where it was like, I think it was like 70% of the students were foreign students, but I don't think I would know the dialect well enough to know the difference between the languages. I subscribed to watch the football game and had to ask for a refund because I couldn't access the site. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. So there it is, EX Sandstorm. It does cost more per spot, but you know what's fascinating? There's fewer spots. And here's another cool thing about Sandstorm. So in Sandstorm, one of the most valuable cards in the pack is the reverse holo, which every pack guaranteed has a reverse holo. So this could be a heavy pack with the holo and a reverse holo if you're lucky. So it could be 2 hits in there. But it's guaranteed to have at least one holographic card, which is why this will probably fill up pretty fast. It's a very special break. EX Sandstorm, guys, hop in there. That's because E-Series era boxes are insanely priced and rare. Excuse me. Mike says it's vastly different. I guess I wouldn't know that, but it's sort of irrelevant to me that the basic concepts are still the same. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's see. some of the smaller details of the arguments don't really make a difference to my way of thinking. Here's Eric Rodriguez. Here's Heracross Gym Break. It's like if you told me Suriname and Honduras have their own dialect of Spanish. I'd be like, Spanish from Spain, right? That you got because you got conquered by Spanish dudes. It's like, it's the same concept. Heracross Gym Break. Oh yeah, so we got one of the gym breaks starting up. Here it is, 1 out of 2 spots. It's all chill, you know, that all happened a really long time ago. But that doesn't make me want to become Spanish. It just doesn't, and it never will. And you kind of have to accept that that's how it is. It's just not going to change. Like tomorrow, I'm not going to become like enlightened. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh, I love it. It just won't happen. And that's why when you go online and you look up how many people liked that halftime show, it's such a disparaging number. It's such a poor number because so many people really didn't like it. And it's kind of a bad situation if you think about it, because it sort of stirs a feeling of separatism when it could have stirred a feeling of unity if he just came on and sang a song people could hear and been like, I love you guys, you love me. You know what I mean? That's my thoughts on the subject. So here's an order from our good friend Kevin Maldonado. He says, SpongeBob Tops, mister. All right, let me get that SpongeBob Tops. Actually, you know, I haven't looked into the SpongeBob Tops in a while. How's that set doing? I don't even know where we're storing it. So give me a minute. We're gonna identify where it's getting stored. Actually, I think it's being stored over here somewhere. So let's see. Weird stuff, huh? Let's check the weird stuff box. Might be in here. Mister, you better want to be Spanish or else. What? All right. If you put it that way, here's solo leveling. That's not SpongeBob. We're looking for the SpongeBob Tops Chrome now. I don't actually know where I put it last. Maybe I get a fresh box if we have trouble for too long. Here's Disney. Could it be in the Disney box? Aha! Here it is, SpongeBob, the last one in the bag. So I need to get a fresh box of this. You don't like salsa and mamacitas? No, I didn't say that. But you got to think of it like this. Salsa and mamacitas are real. Language is abstract. So, like in Iran, they were originally Persian, but they were sort of turned into Iranians. They can go back to being Persian if they chose, if they wanted to. These are subjects that are very hard for people. I feel like people don't understand this kind of stuff sometimes. I do. I'm very aware of it. All right, here we are. I don't hear Spanish and think, wow, beautiful Latino American or something like that. I think, hey, that's from Spain. There we go. That's that thing that they had to do because they were colonized by Spain. You know what I'm saying? Here we are. Isn't that strange? What a strange conversation. Here we go. SpongeBob. No one was more mad than baby boomers. Do baby boomers even watch the Super Bowl? They're pretty old. They are. Really, religion is key factor. That is why. Question mark? What? What about religion? Mr. Beast live streamed on a selling app and drew 500K viewers out of stores to not sell a single item. Yeah, you have to wonder how much Whatnot paid him to shill for the Whatnot platform. We are. All right. That platform, Whatnot, they've got a terrible image problem. Terrible image problem. They need to fix it with authentic Pokemon card sellers, not Mr. Beast. We got Mr. Beast. Like, congratulations. Wow. Whoa. Mr. Beast, guys. Okay, so there we go. Let's take a look on restocking Topps SpongeBobadoo. So this Topps Chrome SpongeBob. I'm just curious how much a hobby box would cost to restock, because this is cool stuff. I asked my girlfriend if she knew what a Bad Bunny was, and asked if that's a porn star name. How many packs were in a box, actually? Hold on, that's an important part here. Give me a second here. How many packs in a box? So how do you guys perceive this SpongeBob product? You guys think this is jumping in price over time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only 12 packs in a box? That's so few. There's only 12 packs in a box here. All right. Okay, and what are we selling this at right now? Let's see how the price has changed over time. SpongeBob. It looks like everything's fine. Let's get it. Let's get it opened. Very cool. What are we talking about? The Pakistan-Persian conversation. You were saying something about, but religion separates them from being versions. Again, I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention. All right, so Iran used to be Persia. And they did get kind of taken over by a strong religion, Islam. It took them over because Islam is a tougher culture. It's a tougher identity. It's a conquering identity. And it took them over and turned them from Persians into Iranians. That's what happened. And, you know, you don't have to be that way. Like, it might have happened to them. That doesn't mean I have to listen to an Iranian song at the halftime Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to love it. They can get all in love with that identity if they want, but I don't have to be. I need it. All right, SpongeBob. So when it comes to concepts like this, like culture and identity, you don't have to love everything all the time. And I feel like perhaps you're not supposed to say that, or perhaps you're just supposed to go along with, like, you know, everyone's exactly the same. But I don't need to learn Spanish. I got you now, SpongeBob. I don't gotta prefer it. I don't gotta treat it like it's as good as listening to like a American artist singing in English. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. There we go. Here we are. Ooh. Pipsqueak Patty. Wow, look at that, guys. Beautiful. I thought it was funny. She didn't know how to react to being booed, and they had her on the big screen. Law. You're talking about, who are you talking about? Taylor Swift? How come that hair crosses an 8.5? It looks so clean for a higher PSA grade. What do you think? It would be nice if it turned into a higher PSA grade. For the sake of pricing, it is priced as an 8. Tony Fast Jr. Oh, yeah. I'm transferring some of my BTC so I can bet on MLB. Let's go Dodgers. What? All right, there we go. Beautiful. Were any of these numbered? I don't think any were numbered. No numbers on these. So you got a standard pack with some very cute cards. You got the I Got You Now SpongeBob classic. Actually, I think we have this in our emojis. The SpongeBob Patrick meme. But here's the hair cross you were just asking about. Here's what he looks like on the front. Here's the back. I see a white dot right there. And I see a small white dot right there. He's probably an 8, dude. All right. Cool. Dude, it's hot in this room, man. We can never regulate the house temperature correctly. This room gets way too hot. New bag for Kevin Maldonado. You got it, Kevin. Thank you so much. All right. There we go. Yeah, Taylor Swift. She got booed at the Super Bowl? Why? The Chiefs aren't even playing. I wonder if the Chiefs will make it back to the Super Bowl at all. Or if it was just like a one-shot kind of thing. 2.26. 100 start decks, says Nicholas Pacheco. No, we sold out of those. But you know, all of the exclusive cards in the 100 start decks, those can be found now in Ascended Heroes. So it's all in Ascended Heroes. Here's Mr. Kevin. Ooh, thank you, Kevin. Toss you maybe over here. No, maybe over here. We're running out of room, Mr. Kevin. I guess I'll toss you here. All right. Okay. So now we have an order from Miss Beatrice Moniz. Hello, Beatrice. Aloha, mister. Can I please get a spot in the Hair Cross Gym Battle? All right, Miss Beatrice is going in. That gym break is over. People like the gym breaks. They're fun. Okay. I really wanted a halftime Avengers Doomsday trailer. I was hoping we would get some like Pokemon card leaks or something like that. Okay, it's Eric Rodriguez and Miss Beatrice. Good luck, you guys. Now, where is my deck? Here it is. So what's the thing nowadays other than Pokemon? I remember in 95, 96, we were on dogs, and then yours came back. Then I started skateboarding. What? What are you saying? What's going on nowadays? What do kids do? What do kids do? Probably play Fortnite. I don't know. Play video games? Minecraft? Been awake since 10 yesterday. Alex, you're becoming delirious, Alex. You're going to have to go to bed. All right. There we go. All right. There we go. What do we got? Kids just say 6-7 all day. Yeah. Here's Articuno. Look at that. Jennifer Yap donated that card. That goes into pile number 1. And here's, ooh, Serena. Beatrice wins round 1. Round 2. Jolteon. He's kind of a weaker one. Oh my gosh, it's a straight up sweep. Miss Beatrice Moniz takes the hair across like it's easy. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry. How about that, Miss Beatrice? Beatrice, she gets in a lot of breaks. You notice that? She's in a lot of breaks. She didn't always win, but she's getting this one. Congratulations. Okay. My kids play outside, play with the bugs too. Yeah, I think that that's a really healthy thing. When I was younger, I played outside pretty much all the time. And I was stick skinny and loved to eat and climb and play. And, you know, you see kids now that are already morbidly obese as kids. And I think that that's, you're supposed to get fat when you get older, not when you're that young. So, you know, kids got to go out, man. Video games are really fun. They ought to make more video games that can be played outdoors, maybe. Or maybe like video games that cause you to exercise, like, I don't know, like Dance Dance Revolution's pretty cool, right? I don't think I've ever heard my kids say they scrape their knees before or elbow. Most people I know watch Mister in the Living Room. Next year, Blackpink halftime show. When I was a kid, the classroom like emergency room, dang, we had fun. Pokemon Go took outside. Yeah, actually did. Pokemon cards made you go outside. That's actually really, that's an interesting observation. When I was younger, Pokemon cards made you go outside to trade with your neighborhood friends. And then when you played the Pokemon video game, you could play that outside too and trade Pokemon over the Connect link. You couldn't trade over the internet. So it actually got you to go in person to the other person's like porch, and you'd sit on the porch in the sunlight, getting good sunlight, and you'd be playing a little bit of Pokemon, showing each other, oh, my Bellsprout just killed this Zubat or something like that. And then you'd be like, oh, you got the trade cord, and you'd trade like a Pokemon. It was such a powerful memory, which is why it lingers. You know, it's still valuable today. We need to make stuff like that. You know, I think it's great for kids to be able to do that kind of stuff. Pokemon Go, though, with your phone. Yeah, that's a fair point. Pokemon Go gets you outside. That's actually really smart. We put them on our bikes. I'm watching Beast Games. Yeah, is it any good? All right, let's see what's going on next, guys. So I think we are running out of orders here. We're 88 minutes into the stream. We tend to go for 2 hours at least in the morning time stream. What's today? It's Monday. Monday. Oh, man, Monday. We're coming up on Valentine's Day. You guys got Valentine's Day ideas for your girlfriend? I have an idea for Karis. Valentine's Day, I got to warn you guys, if you're a guy who has a girlfriend and you haven't gotten her anything, you've got to get her something. Because girls and boys do not experience Valentine's Day the same way. It's an asymmetric holiday. Girls don't experience it the same way boys do. All right, let me grab this. With the girl, if you don't buy her a present, it means she's not good enough. So you can't do that to her. You have to buy her something. And then boys, you know, we all grumble and say, oh, flowers. Who cares about flowers? You know what I mean? Oh, it's a waste of money. It's commercialization. You're not allowed to do that. You can't be a Reddit moderator is what I'm trying to say. Actually, the so-called Valentine's Day, it's just a commercial trick to get us chuds to pay girls flowers for the endless flower industry. You know, you can't do that. It doesn't work. All right, so this is Articuno Karuta. CGC 9 Articuno Karuta. This is vintage. It's from 1999. And I have nothing to compare it to, so we're going to go with the cheap price, okay? But this is a vintage card. It's a Karuta card, which I haven't graded with CGC in a while. This one was given away and then abandoned for like a year. So he's come back to the table for $25. There he is. What is the next break? What's going to pop? Let's talk about the breaks. I want to talk about the breaks, okay, guys? You ready? So we just created this new pack split. $67, 9 out of 9. Obviously, we have the Heartbreak right next to it. Here's the Mew Heartbreak, 5 spots deep, 17 out of 7. We've got the Mega Break. I believe this is pretty close. I think there's 3 spots in the current sub list. When the sub list goes off, somebody gets a spot in the Mega Break. We have the Psyduck. He is 5 out of 25. He's going to take a while, but he is one of the best cards on the table. He really is, even as an 8. And then here's Captain Pikachu. He has a star spot, okay? So that's what you have to understand for this break. He's really 1 in 4 without the star. So he's a lovely card. He did get one of those difficult tag 10s, and he's just a really popular Captain Pikachu, which will probably remain popular for a while. We have the Trade Slab. You can buy directly into the Trade Slab for $5. There's only 2 spots left. It's a vintage Squirtle. He didn't grade 10, but he's still pretty cool. So those are some of the table breaks here, but you also have to consider the brand new Nami Manga, which is 3 out of 32. There it is, 3 out of 32, Nami Manga. All right, those are all options. Let's see what's going on over here. So this is done. There's the Mega Nido King. He does have 3 spots left. Discord, eBay, second YouTube channel. Scan that if you want to watch videos over there. So I post exclusive videos. I don't necessarily post them everywhere, just on that second channel. Okay, and then over here, we've got Astral Radiance, which if I remember is 4 people deep. Might be 5, I don't remember. But this is for a whole box of Astral Radiance, which you can immediately open, which would be really crazy and fun. Or if you prefer, you can have me keep it sealed and ship it to you sealed for $15, not $9, $15, okay? Now, you also have this option over here, Donkey Kong, which becomes the new star spot, right? Oh, yeah, this is the new star receiver. This Donkey Kong box, it receives star spots now, which means it will go off. If you want to jump in here before it's full, grab a spot. There's 2 people already in here. Pretty fun. We have a jumbo pack break running, just like usual. It's the same fun pack. It contains some pricier booster packs in it, and I think we already tossed in 1 free booster, but here it is, the jumbo pack break. Look at all that, huh? So we got Resurgence of Power, Freerin, which did not go in for 38. That's just an old sticker. Here's Fusion. Here's Kuchi number 8. Now this is a pricey pack of vintage Naruto. We also have the new Topps Naruto, which costs like $54. Don't forget that. Rascal Doesn't Dream. Here's a free box topper. Here's Fruit of Grisai. Here's Prismatic. Here is Snow Patrol. Here's Lost Abyss. Here's My Hero Academia. Destined Rivals. Phantasmal Flames. Ascended Heroes in here. Fortnite. One Piece PRB2. Here is One Piece EB3. Here is Sneaker Bunko 2. We got Mega Dream Korean. We've got Phantasmal Flames, Rocket, Glory of Team Rocket, and Blue Sky Stream. So all of those are in the new Jumbo Pack Break. So you can jump in there anytime you want. It goes off pretty consistently, but you can see there's nobody in it yet. The new Binder Break's just getting started, and we've placed a number of cards in here. No, Paw Patrol, I don't want it. Sent for Bird. You sent for Bird. Sounds good. So here's, look at that, one of those Pikachus. Here's Bruxish. Here's a couple filler cards. They're nice, right? Superior, Kyurem. And then take a look at this. Leaf Green Growlithe. Leaf Green Mr. Mime. Ace of Spades, Black and White Tepig. Leaf Green Eevee. From the Gold Star era. Those are really expensive poker cards. Enz Reshiram promo. Vincent promo. Tornadoes promo. That's the beginnings of the Binder Break. Very fun. Remember, for the trade slab, you can just donate some junk cards and get in there. There's only 2 spots left. We could set this off real fast. Just ask me to remove your junk cards or tell me you want to trade for something to get in there. You don't have to trade too much. It's only $5. So that could be pretty easy. Next out, we have Exadrian Adorno. Articuno, please. Can I get a WEPA, mister? A WEPA? Weepa? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. All right, where do we put it? Where do we put the thing you want? Some other fun news for those who might be joining the stream a little bit later, you'll notice the thumbnail includes these hand-drawn drawings by none other than the famous artist Kwip. Here's Xadrian. Ooh. Let me show them off real fast. So they're already encapsulated, which means the price includes the value of being encapsulated. Here they are. You got the Marionette Quip's Haunter card and the Sleeping in the Moonlight Quip's Espeon. These are just fun hand-drawn cards. She's sold a lot of these now, and they all sell. These are the only two left, in fact. She's sold, I don't know how many pictures she's sold. It has to be like 50 of them by now. How many pictures do you think she's sold over time? So these are a lot of fun, and she most recently drew this one. Now, this one was already done. It was just waiting to be encapsulated, but she most recently drew this. I watched her work on it. It took her like 5 or 6 hours of just playing around with different designs, and then, you know, she will like draw it, and it'll be like a bad take, and she'll throw it away and start all over again. So it takes her a long time to put these together, and it's a nice little thing. And yes, if you want to do a commission card, she probably could do that. So feel free to reach out if you want to do a card on commission. All right, but just be aware, it takes time too, okay? Now, next up, we've got, let me jump over here. Weepa. There is a memorial out already for the mom that got kidnapped. Sad stuff. People think she's already dead. Oh my God, I know what you're talking about. That's insanity that lady got kidnapped and there's a ransom. The Blaziken was goated. Wasn't that cool? Yeah, that Blaziken was cool, man. I should have asked for 150 on that one. It was a cool freaking card, dude. But you know, this is an Espeon. It's one of the evolutions. Probably going to do well. Beatrice Moniz, can I please get a spot in the Jumble Pack break? Yes, you can. Let's get you in there. Yeah, she doesn't get all the time in the world to play around with drawing. If there was ever enough demand for her drawings, though, she would get to play around with it more. Here we go. She and I have been employed for a little while now. I've been doing YouTube for like 11 years, and I think she's been doing, how long has she been doing her job? She's been doing her job like 9 years, and she might retire one day to be like a mom or something, and she might get into drawing full time one day. Who knows? You never know. You never know. Little job change there. But also, it's fun to show off that the encapsulator is working fine. We have the ability to get back into card grading. Isn't that impressive? And I like to show off Sarah Dusenberry's Charizard. Rockstar Mahi, redeem it. Charizard. There it is. Redeem it. Please, bro, and redeem it. Those are the two moves this Charizard knows. That's a hand-drawn card con. Look, it's got a cosmic swirl as well. That makes it extra expensive. So yeah, a lot of stuff in there. Lots of fun. How's the Donkey Kong break doing? Quip's Haunter's really cute. Yeah, we could host a break on it if you wanted. Would you guys ever want a break on that? Could be like a $25 break. Now, as you were asking about the Donkey Kong, that set still has 2 out of 10 in it. I believe it's 2 out of 10. But it's now the star receiver. That's a big deal. It means every time a break with the star spot goes off, one of those spots is moved over to Donkey Kong. So he's on his way out. He will definitely finish. All the drawings have been nice, but that Blaziken especially, and the Lucario, that's what I told her. You know, it's funny because she felt like it wasn't any good. She was like, oh, I don't even like them. She felt like she drew the proportions wrong. Here's Powell Brown, Astral Radiance, box break. You got it? Okay, box break. All right. I'll put it down as Alicia Brown if you wish. Good luck in there. Kidnappers, kidnap mom. Mistress Mom, would you pay for her back even with all the things she's did? She's on her own. The killers would be like, we need all your money. I'd be like, that's too bad. No, that's a fun question. How much would you guys pay to save your mom after being kidnapped? Probably, I guess, a lot. I don't know. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. How crazy that anyone would risk doing that, or that anyone would be so monstrous to do that. So Alicia's in deep on the Astral Radiance, and here's Nathan Norman as well. So we have 5 people deep on that box break. That one's going off. I mean, that's a lot of people in there. 5 out of 13 completed on the Astral box break, everybody. That one's getting close. Can you look into a new vintage box? Yes, so that is part of my job. We haven't chosen one yet. I have to decide what we're going to do next, okay? I'm a busy bee. I'm very busy right now. But one concept is we could just host a different XY era box. I think that would be very fun. Another concept is I roll out some huge amount of money and we get maybe an actual older vintage box, and the packs are just monstrously expensive. So that's another concept. Yeah, or somebody who wishes to do commission. Actually, I should make an advertisement that we're looking for somebody to sell us a box on commission. When I think Blaziken, I see the drawing rent-free. Kidnappers kidnapped. All the drawings have been nice, but the Blaziken especially. Quip's Haunter is really cute. Do you do discounts if someone buys en masse? Yeah, so what we can do, if you're looking to get a cheaper price, you can ask to buy a whole case of something. Actually, I remember John Lucas asked for that with, I think, EB4, but the guy who I normally stock with was sold out of EB4, which means I would have had it bought from the secondhand market, which makes that difficult. Let's see. Nivell Arena's got a new set coming out, huh? Some boxes got reprinted in Korean as well. Mega Brave, Mega Symphonia, Electric Breaker, Team Rocket, and Heat Wave Arena. Oh, cool. Okay. What do you guys think? Should I get that Nivell Arena set? New Nivell Arena? Okay, let me hit refresh over here. Let me hit refresh on the website. Thank you so much for the orders today. I hope you guys are having a great Monday, by the way. And one of the things I know we need to get done, we got this huge rotation. We got to get this rotation done for the Z box. We're in the Z box. So speaking of which, here is Raoulu from the McDonald's collaboration. Here is Salamence. Here is Squirtle. Here is Tifa. And this is also Tifa. So this is Final Fantasy Tifa from the year like 2016 or something. Yeah, this is from 2016. This is a 10-year-old Final Fantasy card printed by Final Fantasy. It's actually their set. Okay, some fresh slabs there. Let's see if anything changed over here real fast. Because I just saw my phone go off. Let me hit refresh. How's the Dogo doing? Quip made new sketch cards. Yes, she did. Did you want to see that real fast? Here they are. Quip's Espeon and Quip's Haunter. These are for sale now. What's cool is they're up on the website as well in a page called The Gallery. So you can go to the Cardconomist website and scroll over to the gallery, and there's a picture of these up there. And they're going to stay up there so you can see the previous artwork she's done. I think it's going to be very fun. Which Final Fantasy set would you recommend? Yeah, if you're looking to open up Final Fantasy cards, you know, if it was me, I would open up Final Fantasy Opus 1, or I would open up, if I had to choose between all of them, Hidden Trials. Resurgence of Power is also interesting. It's got these really cool black and white cards, but Hidden Trials technically has, like, I think the best card, 'cause it's got Lightning signature in it. From Nightmares has a Cloud signature, and Hidden Hope has a Sephiroth signature. Those are by far my favorite sets. The other ones are okay. They've got their own stuff going on too. Like a couple of the latest sets all have signatures in them. They're just, you know, they're not as good as those top characters. Which Final Fantasy set would you recommend? How's the dog doing? Quip made new sketch cards. Okay, so we're refreshed. What time is it? 1:05. Let's get some pictures taken, okay? Let's get some pictures. We've got Mufasa. Let's see, what can we take off the table? What's ready to come down? Probably this. Star Wars, Empire at War. That's ready to come down. Mufasa. What do we got? What else was in here? Would you guys like me to make new sketch cards? You know, I draw too, but I don't draw as good as she does. But you know, it's funny. I know all the Cardconomist cards sold over time too. So here's Tree Herder. Here's Empire Pirate War. Galaxy gameplay. Here's Mufasa. And we need two more. How about this Togedemaru? Looks like that's been repriced at 37. And how about this Zap? How about this SpongeBob? Like this SpongeBob. Look at this. It's called the Doodle Dimensions SpongeBob 10. SpongeBob has been selling on my eBay account pretty easily. So that's pretty cool, right? All right, that's the table now. Let me take a picture of these. All right, as you guys know, oh, let me read this. I got a message from PSA. Your search sent to the PSA vault is on a sale hold. We reached out via email to resolve the hold. What? Okay, so we'll take a look into that. And did they actually send me a message? I didn't see a message from them. That was new. Let's jump over here. We're going to head right over to, oh, maybe they're talking about those slabs. It looks like they either broke some slabs or they got broke during shipping, but it was two like inexpensive ones. It's probably that. That's right. Because I learned about that over the weekend, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and work on it. Okay, we're going to click on that. Good. I think they re-encapsulate them is what they do. Do you still have those vintage Mickey Mouse cards? Do you think they're going up in value? Yes. So I have the bubblegum Mickey Mouse cards, and I still have the June Cosa chocolate Mickey Mouse cards. And I have been posting my Mickey Mouse cards up for sale on eBay. And then the other thing I've been doing is I've been buying them as well, quietly. Pretty quietly. I think that the bubblegum cards are, they're like vintage Americana. They come from a time period before current, current Disney under new leadership. They're very old. They have like a super vintage feeling to them, like a multi-generational feeling to them, the bubblegum Mickey Mouse cards. And so I've been studying them for a little while and buying some and not really selling them too fast either. You might notice that I don't push them for sale too hard. Wait, how many of these Tifas do I got? Is this the other Tifa for? How did it get over there? But you'll notice I don't push them for sale because I'm not trying to sell them too fast. I actually don't want to sell through too quickly. I think they're one of those sets that have the potential to go up into the thousands of dollars all on their own pretty rapidly. Just based on true scarcity. Like, they're from 1935. They're out of print. They're out of print like crazy. And I do strongly believe in Mickey Mouse as a brand, even though maybe not recently they haven't been doing the best. Like their Snow White movie did so bad, dude. Oh, their Snow White movie did so bad. But Mickey Mouse is still a cool brand, and it's an American brand, and so I care about all that. So I want to see it do well, and I'm not like liquidating my Mickey Mouse cards. I'm holding, I'm hodling, I'm buying more. I'm not lying. I could show you my eBay. I am buying more of them. Discord was spicy. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, sometimes we have spicy conversations, man. All right, let me throw all this away real fast. There we go. And let me jump over here. I'll show you. I'm buying Mickey Mouse cards. Because if I just say that and I don't show you, you won't believe me maybe. You'll think that maybe I'm just saying what I got to say. But let me go to purchases. And then we're gonna look up Mickey. Oh, I typed in Mucky. Mickey. There we go. And then how do I get rid of this keyboard? So check this out. This was in January. February 6th. I actually bought that one a couple days ago. Look at that. I bought that one for $700. So I bought that one for $700, $100. Yeah, I feel that the Mickey Mouse cards are currently undervalued for what they are. They're 1935 bubblegum cards. I mean, that's kind of shocking, is it not? But look at this one. I paid $700 for this one. Let's see. The line is busy. Very cool. Mickey Mouse is fishing for fish, and he's got many with them. It's such a lovely card. And so that was $700, and I paid for it, and it's sitting in my vault right now. Am I looking to sell them? Not really. So I'm just kind of holding them. I got a couple listed for sale, all at prices where it's like I'm not trying to let go of them. So they're a little high because I'm not really wanting them to sell unless they were to sell at some, kind of valuation that's a bit higher. And I don't think they're about to sell either, but you never know. Because sometimes people get a particular card that they want, and they go, okay, I got to have this one. I don't care what the price is. And that's the thing about the Mickey Mouse cards. They're all different, and they're truly scarce. They really are scarce. They're just not that many more 1935 Mickey Mouse cards. But it's hard for people to appreciate that when a card is cheap. When you can go online and find the card for cheap, your brain incorrectly resolves that or concludes maybe that the card must not be valuable. And that's the mistake in a lot of the consumers' minds about cards. You go, oh, this scissor is only 75. It must not be valuable. It's hard for them to conceive that in 3 years, he's, $160. That's hard to conceive. And for me, it's not. I imagine that kind of stuff all the time. I say, so, assuming the market's going up, assuming inflation, assuming collecting still, it's fundamentally not going anywhere, bada bada bing, bada bada boom. you know, I come to this conclusion about the hobby, and then I say, okay, well, what's undervalued? What's undervalued? And I came to a conclusion that the bubblegum Mickey Mouse cards are really nice. I like them. What has been your PSA Vault experience? Like, is it worth it to use? Well, it's not worth it to use for most cheap cards. Like, I wouldn't vault any of these. There's no reason to. But if you're like me and you've got like some cards worth like $5,000 or something like that, then yeah, it's not a bad idea. One way I've used the vault is to get rid of some cards that you guys don't want to buy that I also know are expensive. So like I just showed off that I sold a Poker Blastoise, excuse me, I sold a Poker Blastoise greenback for like $400 over the weekend. Now I could have listed that up on my eBay, I suppose, but I just kind of all send it all into the vault and they'll list it up on eBay for you. So PSA does commission now. Did you guys know that? And the commission is basically just the normal eBay fee, so it's all good. But yeah, so I liquidated that Blastoise poker card, and you guys just wouldn't have bought him here on the table. Maybe you don't believe in his value. Maybe he's just not the one you're looking for, and we've only got like 62 people watching, whatever it is. But he really is worth that much, and he did sell. So I've liquidated some cards that way through the vault. But I didn't have to do that. I could have just taken a picture of him and listed him up here, you know, in my own house. But here's a problem. I've got too many slabs. And there's a point where it's like a liability. Like, what happens if my house catches on fire? What happens if a tornado comes around? What happens if somebody does a break and entry or something? You know what I mean? So what I've done is I've really gotten as many slabs as I can out of my house. Currently, if we go over to my PSA vault, I want to show you guys this so that you can see that I'm, once again, just saying it like it is. If we look at how many cards I have vaulted, you're going to be surprised. Here it is. It's 489 items. So that 489. So I really have sent a huge amount of my cards off to PSA. They're not with me anymore. Like look at these Topps Gengars right here that just made it in. So that's my Topps collection of Gengars. It's not with me anymore, which means it can't be blown away in a tornado, can't be set on fire, and you can't steal it either. There's no point. It's not here anymore. So it's a great way to protect my cards. It's to get them out of the house. And I think that's actually the original purpose of vaulting your cards. It's just protection. The thing is, I could buy another safe in the house, but that does not solve me from a catastrophic event if the house burns down. Like all the cards inside the vault are going to burn up. So the only true way to protect the cards is to get them out of one location. And that's been what I've been working on. I work on security pretty much all the time because what we have is so great over here. I work on security constantly to make sure we're making the smartest moves on our, on our collection. All right, let me hit this. Break's over. Gotta head back. See you later, Mr. NHCC. I'm gonna message you about that on Discord, homie. Sounds good, man. I already mastered the 4 Blastoise, so I held off on that green one. Nice, dude. Have you tried looking into the other region Mickey Mouse cards? They're a lot more scarce than the American variant, per se. Have you seen my Junkosa Mickey Mouse? I'm going to show that off, guys. Let me take a picture of this. I'm going to show off my Junkosa Mickey Mouse. By the way, if you want to place an order, there's still time to place an order right now, okay? We'll still take more orders. We can run the morning time stream later than the other stream, the evening stream. So if there's something you guys want to do for fun, feel free. Let me go grab those slabs now. I'm going to show them off for fun because that's the goal. When you got a nice collection, you got to show it off. These are going into the 9s box. Finally, off they go. We have their picture. I want to be able to pull them out and look at them anytime I want to, but obviously I don't have multiple 100K, 1,000. Yeah, it's a tough choice, but I'm going to be honest. When they arrived into the vault and got uploaded into the vault, I actually kind of sighed a sigh of relief. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had so much stuff at one point where it's like, I'm sitting on Fort Knox or something, like it just didn't feel right. It was actually making me nervous. And we have heavily deleveraged the value of our home now by getting so many of those expensive slabs out of here. So we're not as valuable of a target anymore. And we already have a great security system for the remaining cards. So I'm actually pretty pleased with it. And so I'm the correct target audience for that kind of service. Let me go grab those Junkosa Mickey Mouse cards. All right. Yeah, so we're not Fort Knox anymore. And you know what? making me feel better already. It's making me a little concerned. Of course, it wasn't always like that. Pokemon cards got more expensive over time. So you guys decided to stick around, and that was a great choice. Let me show you some of these awesome cards. This is my Junkosa Mickey Mouse collection. This is widely considered the oldest Mickey Mouse cards in history, which is why I wanted to buy it. This is 1929 Junkosa. Wow. 1929. How old is that? Hold on. Wait, let me do this. 2026 minus 1929. So this is 97 years old. So in 3 years, this hits 100 years old. And I don't know, maybe I moved to sell them at that point when they hit officially 100. 100 years old. It tells kind of like a story of one of the old Mickey Mouse animations where he's going into like a haunted house. Also, look at these grades on them. PSA 5, PSA 4. For 100-year-old cards, those are very high grades. So not only did I collect this really cool Mickey Mouse collection, but I have it in high grades. This is a 6, dude. Look at that 6. Look at the back of the card. Chocolate Selectos. Actually, you know, funny, ironically, I believe this is in Spanish. We were just talking about Spanish. But here it is. Look at this. It's so good, man. Here are the skeletons. Oh, yeah. Creepy crawly dance. Here's this guy with the maracas. Here's this guy with the, maybe like the accordion. Here's Mickey Mouse. This is one of my favorites. Here's Mickey Mouse. He's on the piano. He's very scared. Isn't that fun? Here's another one of my favorites. Here's Mickey Mouse, and behind him is like death or some kind of ghoulie or something. And you just get this great look on Mickey Mouse's sort of like design here. So he looks really fun. Here he is frightened. Here's another great Mickey Mouse card. So he's frightened of his own shadow. Really good. This is the complete collection of these, and these are, again, considered the oldest actual Mickey Mouse card collection in history, and yours truly owns the entire collection in high grade. I believe this is a museum quality collection. You could buy this and display it at a museum or at a card shop or wherever these kind of things get displayed. But it's very special and very old, 100 years old. It cost me a lot of money to acquire this, and it's a non-Pokemon product. So sometimes I do that. Sent my first order of 2026. Hell yeah, dude. Those are awesome. I went from a slab being the most expensive thing in my collection to a booster box being the most expensive thing. Hey, what's up, Mr. Russ? Does PSA insure them if they get stolen from the vault? Yeah, I guess they do. That's what they say. They're fully insured. All right, let me put this away. That was the Junkosa collection, which I believe is very special as more and more people learn about it. And you saw me, even as recently as 3 days ago, still buying Bubblegum Mickey Mouse. So yes, I take that stuff pretty seriously. All right, so where are we? Joshua Whipple, slab away. You got it, Josh. All right, thanks, man. Hope you're having a great Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. This comes down to $13.50. Did you guys see the people trying to blow up an armored truck? If you're interested, I have Mickey Mouse cards I'm getting rid of. They are NBA graded, with one of them being NBA Silver Diamond. Maybe. Google just announced 100-year debts. What? What are you talking about? All right. Okay, cool. So, and here's Kendo Pelor to Oshinoko. 2 boxes. Oh, man, I haven't pulled a box of that in a little while. Let's go looking for those Oshinoko 2s. I hope you get a great pull out of there, Mr. Kendo. You got some stuff over here, Kendo. All right, so give me a minute. Let me open my door. It's so hot in here. Oh my God, it's so beautiful outside. All right, guys, when the stream's done, I'm just putting my shoes on and we're going for a walk immediately. Check this out. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. 100-year bonds, I'm done. Dumb. Oh, bonds, huh? So this is a third box if you want it. In case the first two don't work out. Oshinoko. Now, wait a second. I had these for sale on eBay. Let me make sure that I take them down. So nobody's really been opening this, but they have been selling on eBay. So we know nothing about what's left of them or what's been pulled or not. These could be very hot boxes. They might not be. That's what I thought. So here's what happened. I was selling these, and I wrote down the wrong number of how many I had left. Let me see. Yep. So I used to be selling these, but I sold through all of them, and there were 3 boxes left over. Now, again, we don't know what's left in these boxes. These could be the hot boxes, okay, Kendo? Because no one actually opened these. They were open on eBay. eBay took them sealed. So cross your fingers. I hope you got the good ones. I hope the people on eBay got the stinky ones. Take us with you, mister. Is there a reason why English Pokemon cards are poop quality compared to Japanese? They just are. Dude, it's glorious outside. It's like perfect weather. I bet it's like 65 degrees. It's perfect weather. There you are. There you go. It looks so good out there. You know, Missouri gets pretty cold in the winter during January, and then it gets pretty hot in the summer during July and August. But it's got some glorious weather, man, during like the spring season and in the fall as well. It's such a beautiful fall. And you get kind of used to the hot season as well. So the hot season gets up to 90 and 100, which is pretty sweltering. But you just stay indoors in the air conditioning, and then when it's real hot, if you're living next to the lake, you go swimming. That's the solution. You go swimming. Duh. So if you're living in Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, the hot weather isn't a problem anymore. Now you just have one bad season, and that's the winter. So you get the beautiful fall, you get the beautiful spring, you get the swimmable summer, and then you just get a boring winter. So it's more manageable when you have an area with a nice lake. And there's like these public beaches for the lake. It's really nice. So even if you don't have a lake house, you can go swimming, and there's usually a bunch of people there. It's really fun. Kirsten and I have been thinking about doing the public beach more often just because it's less lonely. Like, so we have a lake house where you can just climb straight into the water, but it's kind of lonely. It's just us. It's real quiet, very private actually. But if that's all you do, you kind of miss having more people around you. All right, here they are looking at the stars. Very pretty. You've been selling a lot on eBay lately. Slabs, yes. Slabs, yes. Booster boxes, no. There it is. People were ignoring Oshinoko for a while, and so I just said, let's clear out our menu. So that's why I said, we'll just clear out our menu, start all over again with Weiss. That's the goal, by the way, Mr. Kendo. I know you like Weiss cards. So our goal has been to not purchase up a whole bunch of new Weiss product. We haven't been buying new product. We've just been liquidating what we got. And once the Weiss menu has shrunk a lot, and it has been shrinking, once it has shrunk a lot, we're going to get back into the swing of things. There we are. It's a great product. I actually really like Weiss Schwarz. Been opening it for a long time, been selling it for a long time. I see the slab sell. You know, if you look in the consignment channel right now, we got some John Lucas cards for sale in there. Have you guys found a new house yet, or are you just going to stay in the Ozarks? So the world has been changing around us, Mr. Matthew. One of the things that changed, they're announcing that Missouri is trying to become a no-tax state. And that is a huge deal because that was the whole reason I was moving. So us moving is on pause until we find out if that fails or succeeds. Now, if it succeeds, we're not moving. We're living in like the perfect state. If this becomes a no tax state, it's perfect. Cheap to live here and no taxes, no state taxes. Like that's crazy. Actually, couldn't be better. So we're hoping for that. We're hoping because there's going to be a vote in November. That's what's going to happen. In November, Missourians are going to vote on it. The governor already explained that in order for Missouri to become a no-tax state, Missourians have to vote yes on raising sales tax. That's it. So they have to vote yes on raising sales taxes on things, and that's what will allow us to become a no income tax state. You know, because you have to collect taxes somehow. And what they do is they shift out of taxing your income and they shift into taxing like vacations and stuff like that. But, this can be kind of tough if you're somebody who's living on a fixed income, like a retiree, or maybe you're somebody who's not making any money and you don't want, higher taxes on your food or something like that. So this might not be popular with everybody. And especially people who are like on a fixed income or people who are on like welfare, they probably won't vote for it. But I'm neither of those things. I'm a guy with a wife who works a great job and she works very hard. She works like 12 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day sometimes. She's got a great job. She works really hard. And I work really hard too, and we would like lower taxes. It's the whole reason we were looking into moving. And so, I'd love to see Missouri become a no-tax state, no-income tax state. That would keep me in the state and very happy with what I have. Be very happy. We're sitting on 2 houses, decent houses. The third one's for sale. I was just talking to the real estate agent before we went live. You noticed I went live a little later. Well, I took a call from the real estate agent. She's selling that house that we once rented to John. So she told me some steps I have to take. I got more work to do, of course. Won't it balance out? No, not for me. Not for me. It will not balance out. I'll save a lot of money. In fact, I'll be prepared to liquidate my good cards. So if Missouri becomes a no-tax state, I can finally start liquidating my best cards if I wanted to. I don't even know if I would, but if I liquidate them right now, I pay the full state income tax on my income, which is like 5%, which is pretty good compared to like Hawaii, New York, Illinois, well, Chicago, Hawaii, New York, Illinois, and California. You guys pay outrageous taxes in those states, really high, like 15%. Missouri is 5%. But I mean, guess what? If I was in Tennessee, it'd be 0%. Zero. They're our neighbor. They touch us. We're connected. Our states are parallel, adjacent, lots of words. And they pay no income tax at all. So I would say 5% on the sale of a $100,000 Pokemon card slab. That's a lot of money. That is not inconsequential money. 5% of 100,000 is $5,000 saved on one sale. You just make a bonus $5,000. Now, the cost of that is you have to pay more money for your food, maybe, or like for hotel bookings or something like that, maybe like gas. They raised the price of everything else. That's a consumption tax. So for somebody who has $1 million of cards, paying some more money on my food, like 2% more or something, or 1% more, it doesn't really matter. But saving 5% on $1 million of Pokemon cards matters a lot. That matters a whole lot. It's like almost an extra income. It's like $50,000 extra dollars just to be in a place with no tax on your income. And that's just my income. We're not talking about Karis's income at all. She earns an income too. So it'd be both of ours. And that's just the sale of those slabs. That doesn't even include my standard income from selling cards. So for us, you're looking at saving an enormous amount of money, and it gets shifted over to consumption tax. So, it gets shifted over to like I said, like food or something. I don't know what they would tax a lot of. Maybe they would increase the amount of gambling Missouri is open to, and then they'd increase taxes on gambling. I don't know what their plan is exactly. Here we are. They would reduce the amount of services Missouri does, so maybe fewer free buses or something. I don't know. I don't know what Missouri exactly does. It's all I care about these days is being in the right place before I liquidate any of my... Oh, yes. That's SEC Plus. Oh my gosh, Kendo Pelor, we did it. That is so lucky, man. I told you we didn't know what has been pulled from these boxes, but there were only 3 left because I'd been selling them on eBay. And I told you I hoped that you got the good ones, and you did. Wow, that is so cool, man. Congratulations. Look at that, guys. Oh, damn. That was pretty good luck. It's all luck sometimes, guys. Wow. All right. Now, you guys got to understand the SEC Plus card is a higher rarity than a standard signature. So he's got like the case chase card. I think it's either the case or the master case chase. Is this the master case pull? I don't know. You might know. So there you go. Very nice, man. All right. Kendo's having a good day. And he didn't even pay much for that. You know, both boxes was just $96. So he did really good on that. Big win there. Man, that's awesome. And the rest of the boxes were liquidated to eBay. So it's like the ultimate outcome. All right. Your neighbor touches you? Yeah, I might need some help. I need an adult. No, but Tennessee is a bordering state, and they have no income tax. And so if I just bought a house on the other side of Tennessee, on the other side of the border, I'd save 5% on my entire income. Karis would save 5% on her entire income. And then if I sold like $100,000 Gold Star Gyarados, I'd save 5% on that. It's a lot of money. And look at the states that have really expanded, the ones that have really blown up. It's just a couple of them. It's always, you hear about it, it's always Florida and Texas are two of the fastest growing. Of course, sometimes you hear about the Carolinas, but their taxes are pretty low, actually. If you look at their tax rate, they have a low tax rate similar to Missouri. And then so Florida and Texas have a no tax rate on your income, and they just get so many business moving to them all the time. They all want to be there. They go, oh, hey, you're treating us better, so we're moving to you. So I think that that's the competition these days, is for states to find a way to lower their taxes. It raises innovation. It raises business. It causes investment. Like, where does an investor want to invest? In the state with 15% taxes or in the state with 0%? And of course, it's going to be zero. So that's why you see a lot of billionaires in Texas and Florida now. That's why you see all these businesses going there. That's why they underwent like some transformational levels of immigration. And that's not exactly dying down. It's still going. But the Carolinas, they have low taxes like Missouri, but they also have a nice beach with fewer hurricanes. So they're doing all right too. But you're just seeing a lot of that these days. You know, you're seeing a lot of movement toward these states. All right, Kendall, let's find your bag. Now, Kendall, I think you're over here. You see a lot of that nowadays in the country. Like, are you just a regular person and you want a nice job? If you move to Dallas, Texas, you're going to find a job. I was there. I drove to Dallas, Texas in September of last year. We drove there. And it's humongous, dude. There's just like endless skyscrapers sprawled everywhere. There's a trillion Walmarts, a trillion subdivisions. But you get the scale of it. Like, there's so many people, and there's so many cars, and there's so many malls, and there's so many restaurants. There's a job out there for you, guaranteed, because all the businesses want to operate in a no-tax area. It's the desirable place to be. Same with Tennessee. You know, you hear about, what was it, like the In-N-Out, or was it Five Guys? I can't remember. One of those hamburger chains just moved out of California and into Tennessee because decent weather, no income tax. Great place to be, you know. And that pattern, that trend's going to continue. It's not going to stop. People aren't going to suddenly wake up and say, you know what I love paying? Lots of taxes. Here's Javier. He says, 1 Topps Naruto, 1 Ascended Heroes, 1 Live Custom. You got it, man. All right, the Live Custom's very popular, guys. Randomly pulled booster pack gives you a chance for a slab. And if you don't like the slab that you get, you can re-roll it for 90%. Watch how it works. 1, 2, 3. He gets this one, and then I put this back into the box. So it gets shuffled all the time. This time it's going to be a little bit cold. That's a cold pull from the box. So if you miss, you get a pull like this one. Just a regular Pokemon card. Now, Topps, Naruto, and an Ascended Heroes. There's Ascended Heroes. Where's my Narutos? We're hiding them over here. The Naruto packs. Very new. Will Patterson is vice president of the Pokemon Printing Group. When does the no tax on overtime start? Oh, I don't know. Didn't that already? I actually don't know about that one. SEC is not guaranteed in the case or the master case. That was crazy. What? Really? Wait, I want to show it off again then. Did you hear that, guys? Kendall Pelor says that the SEC rarity is so rare that it's not even guaranteed in a master case. Is that correct? Check that out. That is an SEC plus rarity on this card. What's her name? Could you help us with the name? I don't speak Japanese. Look at that. SEC Plus. We're going to have to definitely clip this one. Congratulations with that, Mr. Kendo. I'm glad you opened it. You know, because this could have gone off to some guy on eBay, and by some sheer luck, it stayed here with us and went to you. So that's great. Memcho, her name's Memcho. We have one more box, by the way, if you ever feel tempted to try it. You know, the product's pretty cheap. It's not very expensive per box. So we have one last box of it before I remove it from the menu. You never know. Maybe another signature in there, maybe not. Here we are. All right. Because, again, we don't know what's been pulled. But let me clip that for you. I didn't realize it was so rare. I had a feeling it was very rare. I'm going to clip that for you. Let me go up to the clips channel. We've been getting some great clips lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but we've been having some great luck. Some great clips have been coming out. Memcho SEC Plus Super Rare Siggy coming out of Oshi No Co Volume 2 for Kendo Pelor. That's great, man. Whew. Let's see what you guys say. Mike says he's been very busy. Yeah, he's doing a great job too, by the way. Let's see. You said some of your slabs arrived at the vault cracked. Is PSA going to take care of that for you? I believe I have to take care of it. So they told me that they think it's my fault that the card arrived cracked, you know, like in the mail. So maybe the mailman stomped the box. I don't know. But it was 2 staff cards. They're probably worth like 400 each. It wasn't like Legendary Collection Charizard, so that was good. And because he's in the vault now. And so basically, they're going to re-encapsulate it, and that's probably going to cost me like $25 or $30 per card. That's my guess. So it's going to cost a little bit to get it re-encapsulated, and they said they won't put it in the vault until I re-encapsulate them. So they're going to have them re-encapsulated and then add it to the vault. Yeah, I've been buying those staff cards. I don't know if you guys noticed that. That's another thing I really enjoy. There's a variety of cards I enjoy, but I like the staff cards a little bit. Where is the staff card? Here it is. I snatched this Pop 5 staff card the other day. Let me show it to you. Reggie Steele's staff. Pop 5, apparently. I'm a fan of that. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know how well it's going to do. I mean, it might be correctly priced already. It might take a long time for it to go up in value. But, you know, one of the things I realized over time, I'm kind of a fan of Reggie Steele. He's a cool Pokemon. Reggie Steele looks cool, man. All right, you ready? So this is for Javier. Does Will Patterson have someone I can hang out with this month? Will Patterson. You ready? All right, pay attention, guys. So this Naruto pack is special. It just arrived. Printed in 2025. This is recent Topps Naruto. And we're looking to pull one of ones out of there. But let's get this Ascended Hero first. Here's Golduck, Electric, Trevenant. Okay, just some hollows in there. No crazy luck in the Ascended Heroes. I haven't received any more Ascended Heroes, which I should have by now. And so it's kind of scary. I feel like the people who I bought with just don't have enough and they decided to sell it themselves or to, oh, we'll get you when we restock it. That's super inappropriate. Actually, I don't think the OP14 guy has responded either. But here's this. We got Itachi Uchiha. Itachi Uchiha. Ino Yamanaka. Here's Kakashi Hatake. Here's Kankuro. So what we're looking for is a numbered card that is holographic. Notice these are not hollows. These are just standard pulls, but you can pull an actual holographic out of here. Here's Tayuya. Tamari. She got a big fan. And Gara. All right. Oh, wait, one more. Okay, we've got the 5th gate. A splendid ninja is born. What? Boop. There he is. There we have it, guys. So those are all the cards from the pack. Notice how many cards there were. They're all gradable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total cards. Imagine out of those 8 cards, even 1 or 2 of them graded 10. I think you would be able to make your money back on this pretty easily. You know, I'm going to put them back in the original holder, the original pack, just to make this easier instead of sleeving each one. Because it can take a long time to sleeve each one. But there it is. That's official Topps product, and I bought a decent chunk of it just because I thought this is probably worth it. It is. Topps cards tend to do pretty well, it turns out. It's a great company with a strong brand. All right. No print lines, preferably. I'm surprised you don't have a distributor connection. Yeah, it's harder than you think. You have to have, you know, we're actually still working on that, and we have made some progress on that. But one of the things we did recently, we created a website. So now when we apply for distribution, we can say we have a website, and there's some business paperwork I have to get before we can finish doing that. So I guess one of the reasons why we didn't have direct distribution yet is just because we really don't just buy the latest modern sets. We deal a lot in sets that are secondhand market sets, for example. And then with like when Pokemon's really on a spin, you can't really get the product anyways. You don't get allocated very much. And so a lot of the rip and ship shops rely on secondhand market anyways. But then the other thing is I do sort of have a distributor for Japanese product, and that's been sort of our main focus for a while, has been my connection in Japan who hooks me up. And we just been going at it. I mean, things have been going all right for a while, it seems. But we're always improving, and we're working on getting that distribution pretty soon. So that's something we've been working on. But the latest accomplishment has been the website. Yeah, there's always a lot going on. I managed to max out my time over here anyways. That's, like I'm actually fully busy and don't have lots of spare time at the end of the day to do a whole lot, between submissions, picking out products that are not just a modern booster box, but like special cool stuff, shopping, setting up breaks, setting up special fun items like the binder break, a lot of communication and such, and just all the things I work on. Now we're doing a little encapsulation. There's always something to work on. But yeah, we're working on it now. There was actually a step that we finished taking on getting the business paperwork ready for actually, receiving distribution. You had to get that paperwork done first. Are you still going live this evening? That's the plan. Man, it is hot in here, dude. It is so hot in this room. It's like 100 degrees, I swear. I got to wrap up here and turn on the AC, guys. I'm going to turn that AC on. I'm sure it'll work out for you, mister. You should write a book. Your life is so interesting. Maybe I will write a book someday. I thought about making those private channels, and I thought maybe I could just write in there some personal fun stuff that you guys might enjoy. And I was thinking instead of selling a book, we just sell maybe like a role that gives you access to those channels. You just read whatever you want to read. All right, so I'm hopping off now, guys. I had such a fun time with you all. I'll be back on for the evening stream. We'll see if anything interesting comes in the mail. I don't know if it will. We're mostly looking for a restock on the Ascended Heroes. That's what we're looking for. But now I have to go chew some guy's butt off because I still don't have that OP14. It's ridiculous. So no OP14 yet. So I have to go work on that as well. I'll see you guys in a couple hours.